For a long time, we were at war with the jackals. Now, finally, we've driven them off, and we're left with this, a year of relative peace. One quiet year with which to build our community up and learn again how to work together. Come winter, the frost shepherds will arrive, and we might not survive the encounter. This is when the game will end, but we don't know that yet. What we know is that right now, in this moment, there is an opportunity to build something. Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Quiet Year, which is the beginning of our new tabletop campaign with me, Jody, I almost said Judy, as your GM. I'm very excited to be here with you all, and I'm going to let Pepper do her stream intro.
Okay. Hello, snacks, and welcome to my web. I'm your Spidere girl, Kitty Pepperson Pie, and here we have a new tabletop series, which I am very excited to get started. As Jody just said, Z will be the GM and basically the host of this series. Unlike my last tabletop series where I was the host and the GM, it'll now be Jody's turn to do so. We have new players this time around. We got me, we got Bottoms, we got Judith, and we may or may not have that find some other people or change things around. We'll see. To start off, I think we're going to introduce ourselves, and then we can have Jody tell us what we're doing today. Let's start with Bottoms.
Hi, I'm Bottoms. I used to play Danganronpa. It's been a while since I've been on a stream.
It has been.
And I'm back to play a better game this time, so I'm very excited.
Wow, better than Danganronpa, you
How
say?
this goes. I know it's a heavy bar to climb, but dare I say, after reading the rulebook, I'm already there.
Hell yeah. Judith?
Hi, I'm Judith. I don't really know what to say about myself. What should I say about myself?
Pretty sure you're a puppy.
You're a puppy.
Pretty sure you're a puppy.
I know for a fact.
There's that as a fact.
Yes.
It's a good introductory
Yeah.
statement.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Also, you're adorable.
whoa. Yeah, we're gonna hop into this. So basically, something I can say about it at least is that we're starting this off. It's gonna be a lot different from my other series. Those of you who have been watching my gameplays and my Minecraft streams, this is gonna be a lot more chill, and we're gonna tell stories and make characters and all that. It's all gonna take place within my world, which I've talked about many times in a lot of detail, and you'll get to hear me talk about it a lot more today in a lot of detail. The first thing we're playing is A Quiet Year, which Jody can explain, but basically that's going to be the game we play for these first couple of streams while we figure out that it basically allows us to create this world in this area we are going to be in. Like, we're going to adapt an area of the Spidere world to fit what we are going to do with it, and we're going to decide what we want to do with it and what it's going to be like and all that. And Jody, you go ahead.
So, as Pepper said, we were playing The Quiet Year today. The Quiet Year, because it's the first time we're playing it, I want to actually credit the people who did it. Excuse me. Designed and written by Avery Adler, illustrations by Ariel Norris.
Also, it's Alder, not Adler. Yeah.
You're
messing
damn, I'm
everything
doing
up.
bad. This is a wonderful game. I haven't played it before. I have heard it being played. This is a game that I recommended to all of us when we were thinking about what we wanted to do, because it is good for world building, and it's good for giving everyone ownership of the world that we make, because it is very collaborative.
Yeah.
And after it should take between 1 and 3 streams, probably not 1. And after this, we're going to take the setting that we've built and we're going to play another game in it, which I'm not going to say exactly what it is just yet, just in case, but I'm very excited.
Yeah.
How are you all feeling about it?
I'm excited, and kind of like what I was saying, I've been looking forward to this. I've been wanting to do another tabletop series for freaking ages, because I did my last one and it was super fun. We developed story, characters, and an area, and this is going to be kind of like a partner series to that, where it's not really going to have as much to do with that one specifically. It's going to be kind of its own standalone thing alongside that. So this, to clarify, is not season 2 of that. It's season 1 of a partner series. Yes. It is its own standalone thing, still taking place in the same world and with some of the same affairs largely doing with like the same like government and empires and stuff like that. But we are going to look at this already established world that is like minimally established, and then we are going to choose an area and like develop that, and that's what these first few streams are, and that's why I'm feeling on it.
Yeah.
For this new podcast gameplay, tabletop.
This is going to be the first TTRPG I've played since 2021, and I was GMing back then, so this is honestly going to be refreshing for me.
Heck
Very
yeah.
different.
And how are you
This is
feeling
my
about
first. This is my
Sorry,
first
go ahead.
long-term tabletop thing since probably like maybe 2020. But I've done like short, like couple session things. But I'm excited to like be a part of building it and stuff like that. I think that's a really cool idea, and I'm excited to see
Yeah.
how it plays out.
And as far as I know, none of us have actually like what we're playing right now. The system is A Quiet Year, and as far as I know, none of us have actually played that before.
No.
So this is going to be somewhat
No.
new for all of us, also. I hope you're all in the audience also excited to join us for this little thing here.
And just a little bit more about how the Quiet Year works. You heard me say the intro at the beginning of the stream. That's the intro that is just directly from the book. We're changing a little bit of that framing to fit Pepper's world, but the basic idea of the Quiet
Our world, Jody. Our
of
world.
the Spidere world.
Yes.
The way that the Quiet Year works is we go in turns. Each turn represents a week within that year, and we are trying to rebuild after a disaster, not knowing that at the end of the year another disaster is coming. The way that's framed in the game was we were at war with the Jackals, and at the end of the year the Frost Shepherds are coming. That's not specifically what we're using. We're going to have to figure that out. What we have decided on is that the stand-in for the Frost Shepherds is probably going to be invasion by the Cognatus Empire, an empire in this setting.
The basically ever-growing empire of the Spidere world, the planet being Monastery Lost, or Monastery Loust, however you pronounce it, where this empire is basically trying to conquer the entire planet with a lot of very nefarious technologies and schemes that we'll go into more soon.
Yes. Our first step before we even get started with the actual game itself is we have to figure out what our setting is, where on Monastery Loust this actually is. I probably should have given you this to prep. Can you pull
that's
up,
okay.
Can you pull
Yeah,
up
I'd
your
like
map?
to. Yeah, let's pull up the map. Okay, you keep explaining things while I pull it up.
So yeah, we have to, like, we're going to be this game is set, what, hundreds, thousands of years before the other tabletop game?
Before what other tabletop?
Before Monster Play?
No, this one takes place like directly afterwards.
No, the
The storyline.
The later storyline is this to establish the setting is set well before the Cognatus Empire arrives, correct?
Okay, I mean whatever. I'm
Yeah.
cool with whatever. I had thought that the story after this, like the actual campaign we're going to get into, took place directly at the end of this year that we're about to start.
My
Okay.
thinking on this was that, like, when we play the other game we're going to be playing, it's going to be in a place that's been colonized for a long time.
Okay.
And this is hundreds or thousands of years beforehand, maybe when humans first colonized Monastery Lost, maybe not. That's all stuff for us to figure out together.
Okay.
But I think, does that initial idea of that framing work for everyone?
Works for me.
Yeah.
The Cognatus Empire has been in existence for I think like 400 years.
Oh, okay.
So we probably can't go older than
Yeah,
that unless we don't want the
That's fair.
Cognatus Empire to do with this.
In fact, it'll probably be less than that because, well, maybe not. Like, I'm making assumptions. It doesn't have to be this way. My thought is the Cognatus Empire will have already existed in other places. It will already have its core set up. This will be them invading a new place. I don't think we're doing, like, the core of the empire here. Unless we want to. We totally can do that. What do
I
people
kind of
think?
want to go for a new place, but on the other hand, I think if the vibe we want to go for our like campaign that's going to take place in this setting is somewhere where Empire has become the norm for so long that existing outside of it feels impossible, then we might want to do somewhere that was one of their early conquests.
That's a good idea. So Pepper's in the process right now of pulling up the map. which I think will give us a good idea of where that could be.
Yes.
Which reminds me also, after we do that, I'm going to have to actually share the canvas that I've made with you both so that we can all draw as the game goes on.
Yeah, maybe one of those islands, I mean, depending on what the politics of Dragartha are, like one of those southern islands.
Yeah.
Could be.
Pulling up the map for the audience to see now as well.
Now, Pepper, is there anything already established about what order they spread out in?
Here, let me just have this set up first real quick. So I'm kind of going to cover up our us here.
Okay. I get to remain.
You get to
Just
remain.
me.
Yep. So there's the map of our world here. You can move that around if you want. Yep, we have all these locations. Cognatus Empire is the yellow one. That is the empire. That is the big bad. It's where our last tabletop series took place. Currently in story, I think there are some interesting options here for us. They had 200 years ago from the modern time for what like is the current time of the story. They had basically started conquering Piraskei and removed a lot of their culture and basically trying to like incorporate them into them. It is 200 years later now, and they are still Piraskei, but basically under control of Cognatus Empire. So that's an option if we want to do that. I can go into more detail about that if anyone wants. There's also Ickerfall.
I do like the name Ickerfall, just purely on the Sonic level. I think that's great.
Thank you. Ickerfall is... Huh? Did I hear something?
I was just gonna say that it sounds almost like an unintentional Icarus reference.
Maybe.
Oh, I hadn't even thought about that, but true.
Ickerfall...
Could this be where the Cognatus Empire flew too close to the sun? Tune in and find out.
So, Ickerfall is kind of like another really big power where Cognatus Empire, instead of conquering them, has kind of quote-unquote teamed up with them. They are sharing resources, and Ickerfall is like basically like, we're going to listen to you and kind of like give you stuff because you're going to provide us with a lot of stuff.
There's suzerainty, I guess.
I think that's how that...
Yeah. I don't know phrases well.
A suzerainty is like a small, technically independent state that, due to influences from a larger, more powerful state, generally acts in that state's interests and acts as sort of a semi-vassal.
I do like the idea of that.
Yes. So then there's Claremont, the green one at the top right. They are basically at war with Piraskei, which means they're actually at war with the Cognatus Empire. Basically because they're like one of the few places the Cognatus Empire is actually kind of freaked out by, because they have a lot of... They're like a military superpower. They have a lot of weapons. They don't have much... They're not like superpowers in some other regards, but they have a lot of weapons. Dragartha is a place that is very mysterious. It's like the classic fantasy, like forbidden place. Like most of the rest of the world doesn't know Dragartha when what's going on there, or even that it exists completely, because it is just mysterious, dark, scary. That's all that I've developed for that place. And then there's the other ones, which also are basically not that developed, story-wise or lore-wise. Kodai Paksua, then there's Biktarov, Gainsoften, Inthatai, and Avendrai. Avendrai is... So, for those who don't know some of the lore about my world, so picture us as we are sitting here right now on Earth. Thousands of years in the future, humanity has gained spaceships and stuff like that, and they come across this planet that has a bunch of what are called monsters, or like just things that are not humans but have the same consciousness level and everything like that. And their ships crash land on this planet, and the humans have zero way to contact humanity or Earth or anything like that. And thousands of years pass, they start to like incorporate themselves among the world and are now part of the planet. And many of them are kind of racist and see themselves as the better people of the planet. There's a lot of, especially in the Cognatus Empire, a lot of racism against monsters.
So the Cognatus Empire is really like a settler colonial
Yeah.
empire. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Avantai is one of those spaceships that was basically a supermassive spaceship. That's why it's not actually literally that big, but I wanted to make it so you could see it on this map. But it is enormous to the point where it is like country-sized. So it is like full of just technology that is no longer working, and the species here have basically turned it into a just this enormous like running country where they've put their own cultures and like buildings and things in it.
Could you expect in other places to like I'm viewing that as like a place where people could get like that technology?
Yeah.
Are there other places on the world where they could get that?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's actually, if you see any of the other gray shapes, there's one on the bottom right, one on the top left, and there's a couple of plus signs. Those are all more ships or bits of ships that were
Is all
crashed.
of this technology understood by everybody, or is it
No,
like,
it's very
ancient
mysterious.
enough?
It's very ancient. Most of it doesn't work, and it's being extremely like looked into and studied by people in power, especially.
So this is getting
like
ahead of
Sable.
ourselves. I'm sorry, what was that?
Never mind. I was comparing it to a video game.
Oh, okay. This is getting ahead of us a little bit, but I'm thinking about the next game that we're playing or probably playing. Part of that is like, there are 5 different approaches to magic, like nature or like divine or things like that. I'm thinking technology might be one of them, so that's a good thing to keep in the back of our minds. Like, we probably want there to be something in whatever setting we choose where there's like a source of this technology.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was mentioning earlier with Claremont.
Or relics, I should say.
Claremont is powerful because they've got the best understanding of how to turn this technology into weapons. And Cognatus Empire really doesn't like that. Because,
So I know
yeah.
this is like jumping ahead a bit to the Quiet Year itself, but Johanna, would this be like a resource thing that we could choose, kind of thing?
Yes, that is gonna that's a good idea. That's a really good idea, and that is also
I thought I
getting a
would
little
say
bit
that
ahead of
before
us.
I forgot.
Yes. We are going to get to a point in the Quiet Year pretty early on where we're going to have to choose resources. That can be one.
I was just gonna pitch an idea about where on the map we want this to take place.
What are you thinking?
Because, well, based on the way, Pepper, that you were describing Dragartha as this kind of like dark, mysterious, unknown continent, and we don't know yet who the jackals in the framing of the Quiet Year are that we're running from. I was thinking it might be kind of interesting if specifically we're setting this on one of those islands in that chain, like I mentioned before, that runs kind of south from Cognatus to Dragartha.
I like that.
It would mean, like, this is territory the Cognatus Empire still hasn't conquered yet, which would explain why they don't know much about Dragartha. And these are people fleeing from some other event that we're going to get to define in Dragartha, and then only just to get swept up into the Cognatus Empire.
See, I like that a lot, especially because it gives us a pretty reasonable scale to do a world building game about. I do worry that if we do such a small area, that's going to leave us like we're going to like basically build a society on this small little island, and that's not going to help us very much with the world building for the next game.
Well,
yeah.
So I want to also remind, this is the entire planet. These small little islands are not tiny.
That's fair. So like,
give it, what's a sense of scale?
Like this is a planet the size of Earth, and these are all continents. Like each of these things I've listed aren't countries; they are full-on continents.
So like one of those, so that like southernmost island is kind of like the size of New Jersey or something.
Yeah, you could say something like that.
Okay. So that seems reasonable, and like our next game could be set on an island that size. That seems like that seems doable. I had envisioned something a bit bigger, but that's not required.
It's just my pitch. I'm not attached at the hip to this idea, but
like, if we do this, I would like to do the entire island chain. Would people be cool with that?
I'd be cool with that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
That's cool.
Also, like if any of you want to ask more questions about any particular location, I can give details on them too about what I do have built up for those locations. Some of them it's a lot more than others.
I'd like at least some of them to be like when we are playing the full RPG thing, that I could experience them through the character. Like I don't know anything about it. I figure it out with the environment.
I'm sorry, say that again. I didn't quite catch that.
Like with the really well developed ones that Pepper has a lot in mind. I know we're like collaborating on it and everything to develop everything, but I think it would be kind of cool to figure out like how people interact with each other and like what's going on through our characters and stuff. At least for me. Everybody else wants to do, that's totally fine. But
so you're saying that your preference would be to pick a place that's less developed so that we have more space to develop it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the ones I have mostly developed are like the 4 middle ones, like Cognized Empire, Ikerfall, Claremont, and Puriske. They aren't even that developed. Like genuinely, there's not that much to them other than like a basic idea. The rest are very underdeveloped, and I haven't really done anything with them. Like, how I picture it is like, to give at least a very basic theme, Cognized Empire is kind of like imagining the typical medieval fantasy. There is technology, like I was mentioning. Like when you think of like technology and how the world works, I often say like just think of like Arcane or League, like that world. That's like the type of technology that is here. Some places are a lot less have a lot less access to this technology though, but Cognized Empire is like kind of the typical medieval fantasy. Ikerfall, like aesthetic wise, imagine kind of like Victorian sort of style, or like Dishonored, because I love that game. Puriske has the aesthetic, at least parts of it do, of ancient Egypt. It's largely desert in the main like middle half there. Claremont is, at least in its more settled areas, I like to kind of imagine as the way I described it to Jody recently was like, imagine 1950s America if it was a fantasy world and didn't have like just like the technology we have, but like its own fantasy technology. Like that's how their culture kind of works.
Okay.
Like so they are suburban culture.
So then outside of those 4, there's a bit more room to kind of draw up what we want.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know that Biktarov is like, or no, Gainsoften is largely, has a lot of magic. Like they look into magic a lot. Inthatai is the home of like the reptilian type people and like lizard people. Kodai Paxula has the home of some like monks. Jagartha's mysterious place, and that's all I have for those places.
So how are people leaning right now in terms of setting?
I don't think I'm gravitating too much towards anything. I like the idea of that chain of islands because of where things lead, but because it's so like underdeveloped at base, then I guess at the moment I don't really have a lead in. Maybe no. Sorry, I was gonna say something, and then I immediately.
Well, you wanted it to be like you were mentioning earlier. I thought that you had wanted to choose an underdeveloped place, like lore-wise.
Yeah. So, I mean, like one of the islands, I feel like, but it's so far before everything, right? That the development that happens later.
I mean,
more or less.
I mean, the amount of time before can be a little flexible. I think that if we're doing like, if we're going to have the Cognized Empire invading them soon, they probably don't have the level of technology that they will have by the time of our actual like our later game.
Yeah.
So, and that can be something that comes up like in the resources that we set up in a bit.
And I guess if we are doing technology as a resource, would we want to be closer to one of the like crashed things?
It's still all pretty spread out.
Yeah.
Like,
and I'm wondering if we can slightly massage that idea and just say like, okay, those are like the main crash sites, but there's also like much smaller ones on all the land masses.
That is accurate. There are much less. There are a lot of much smaller ones.
Okay.
Basically everywhere, scattered about.
And also, if like pieces of that sort of plus sign ship were washing off like to the west, I could see them basically all washing up on the shore of that island chain.
That makes sense.
Like, I like to imagine
maybe there's a reef there or something.
Yeah, I like to imagine that there's like hundreds, if not thousands, of crashed ships or debris scattered about the planet. So there's a lot of room for that. Also, I'm just gonna say hi to the chat real quick. Hello, Orange, Zach, Adria, Shiny, and Out hands, welcome to the stream. Thank you for being here. Yes, hello. Okay, go on.
Okay. So it sounds like we're kind of gravitating towards the island chain. Does that
I like that.
Does that
Yeah.
sound good to everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Pepper, I'm going to give you a maybe annoying task.
Awesome.
I want you to go onto our canvas and draw the basic outline of those. Like, it doesn't have to be like perfect or to scale, but I want to get the basic outline.
Okay. I can try.
Okay. Thank you.
Is that? Do you have that
it-
up anywhere?
It's in the Chrome tabs.
Okay, let me turn off.
Yeah, could you send me
This
the
real
link
quick.
for it?
Yeah. We'll do that also.
Okay.
I'm
No
also
rush.
keeping a notes document that I'll send you folks the link to. That's just where I'm going to be taking notes during this session. You don't have to do anything with it, but I want it to be available to you.
Okay.
I think it's that one. Yeah. Oh, okay, that's weird. Okay, yeah, the shared link is up here. If you want to put that in Discord.
You also have the mouse.
Right, you're right.
You are the one that has main control.
Copy link.
Jody is using my computer. I am sitting off to the side this time. Unlike, this is the opposite of usual.
Okay, here is the canvas that we're going to be using.
We also our server has a title for this, but we actually don't have a title for this series yet. So I think after we finish the quiet year, I'd like us to collaboratively maybe come up with a title for this storyline,
How do I get rid of this?
and even
thing?
like also like a name for this location, which we
Yes.
could maybe even use as the title.
I think that the name of this location should probably be our next step. Honestly.
Okay. I think we
I
should figure
need
out.
to I just requested access to the Canva.
Oh, that's
Samesies.
it. Doesn't just. Oh, that's weird. Hang on. Oh, only you can access. Okay. Anyone with the link. There we go. That should do it.
Okay, you might have to resend the link, but let's see if that works for them.
Yeah.
That works.
Okay.
Cool.
At least for me.
So yeah, I think we should have a little bit of like story and understanding of this world before, or this area of the world before we choose a name for it.
Okay.
I like to have something to go off of.
So maybe so the game is set in like over 4 seasons. Maybe after spring we'll have enough of an idea to name it, you think? Or
Okay.
don't worry about getting this too accurate with what already exists. Like, we can massage
Okay.
it.
Uh,
I was gonna type something funny on it, but I decided not to.
you can.
It's not like it's on stream anyway.
It's gonna be soon. Does that show up for everybody?
Yeah.
Awesome. I can just do that. That's great. Okay. Would you like me to put this on screen, Jody?
Yes, but I'd like them to be actually drawn because we're all gonna like, and bigger because we are going to be drawing on these, like in the game.
Are we not able to draw on this?
I mean, I need them to be bigger than they are. Is the thing.
Okay. I think that was also a thing I could do.
It's weird how.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
That's bizarre.
How big do you want this?
Like I want us to be able to put like actual details on all of the 4 main islands.
Okay, let's just make it the whole thing then. Making this huge, everybody
How
zoom
does
out.
one do a doodle on this thing?
There's a draw tool on the left side,
Oh,
like on the
yeah,
sidebar.
Should we outline them or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put this on the screen, people to see. Okay. It's now on the screen, so we can see all this stuff.
I worry that this is still not actually big enough.
Yeah, I can make it larger.
No, but like, I feel like we should just draw them the size that we need because the scale of
Yeah,
this
that's why
map
I
is
was asking about
yeah.
tracing.
Yeah, that's where we're gonna trace them, right?
Oh, okay. That's.
I'm just.
I wasn't.
making it
I didn't think that's
at-
what you were doing. That's.
I'm making it
fine,
at
yeah.
base, just like the
Gotcha,
size
gotcha,
we want it,
gotcha,
and then we
gotcha.
can trace it.
Okay.
Then we can zoom in pretty far on this.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's I'll trace some of these.
I'm resisting the urge to give them a very nerdy name. Not that I'm in the position to name
I mean,
them.
you're in the position to suggest. What are
Yeah.
you thinking?
No.
I didn't mean to
My
move it. I'm sorry.
canvas.
No.
I think you mean your Canva.
My Canva.
Ooh.
I was just gonna name
Whoops.
them after the ancient Greek
know how to
god
do
of the
that.
south wind, but I think that's kind of lazy.
I mean, A, I don't think
If you
that's
didn't
lazy,
tell me it was
and
the ancient
B,
Greek god of
we
the
can use
south
that as a
wind,
jumping
it
off
would just
point.
sound like a cool name.
Okay, his name's Notus. Notus.
Okay. Do we want to just call it notice, or do we want to use that as a jumping off point and figure out something from that?
Oh, I meant like the Notosian Islands or something like that.
Hmm,
Is that all of them traced?
I think so.
Unless we want to do the coasts of like the full continents, but
No, we don't have
that's
to
all
worry
the
about that right
islands.
now.
Wait,
Okay.
there's a little baby. One second.
It's a little baby.
Oh, I see
A
it.
little baby.
Oh yeah, there's a little baby.
Maybe we should like just roughly sketch the areas of the coast that are nearby to give
Yeah.
a sense of how close they
Yeah,
are.
I figure that's something
Okay.
we
And
might
also,
play around too,
like,
so.
Feel free to add more to these islands if you want to add more small islands off of the coast of them, or if you want to change their shape at all.
All right.
Same to you, Jody. You can also do all this drawing. Yeah.
Now,
I'm gonna delete this real quick now and see if it's still there for everybody. Okay.
cool.
Cool.
Oh,
Are
yeah,
we
that
able to
looks-
blow those up bigger?
No, don't blow up the islands.
Okay,
Come
so
on,
we can actually
roll.
reshape all these islands. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Do what you want to do, Jody.
Okay. Are we able to just kind of? Let me
Looks like
see.
it. No, you can just drag it with the sides.
I mean, I know I can drag it, but oh, I see. I'm dumb. Okay.
And then there's the zoom thing at the bottom.
How do I? How do I like pan it?
Zoom.
No, okay, I know that, but like, how do I pan? I guess.
I don't know.
Okay.
Scroll?
Oh, that why? Okay.
You didn't even try to scroll.
All right. If I scroll, it doesn't like change the zoom for you guys, right?
It does.
Oh, it
Oh,
does.
okay. That's weird, but okay. I think we'll zoom in to do the actual detailed
I
drawings
think
as
you
we
can
need
just do
to.
like control plus and minus. That just changes it on your end.
Yeah, fair.
I
I think that like this is good, and then we'll just zoom in as we need to do the actual little drawings.
All right.
Let's go back to the quiet year real quick. Also, did we settle on that name?
Here, let me just.
That was just a placeholder. I wasn't.
Okay.
What was the thought?
The
name again? What was it?
The Notosian Islands. Notosian.
What if it was like to like simplify a little bit? I'm gonna like make up a word. I don't know if this actually does mean anything.
Wait.
But
Is there a way that I need to have this tab also? Can we have?
yeah, here. Let me. If you're gonna click out of that tab ever, just make sure you turn this off
Okay.
so we don't have people seeing our stuff.
Well, it's okay if they see the notes document, as far as I'm concerned.
Still, there's background stuff.
That's fine.
What is it? Just do this also.
That one, yes.
Okay. What about like I don't know if this is an actually already existing word, but Natosia.
I like that.
Yeah.
Just to simplify it, because like if we do end up using it as a title, the Natosian Islands would be an kind of like maybe a little too long of a title.
Yeah.
Natosia.
Nut toes.
What?
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 What, Adams?
Nothing. Sounds good.
Okay.
All right, Fathoms. That's fine. That's okay. All right. So should we get started? I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Does everyone have the Quiet Year book?
I mean, it's in the rules channel, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So,
Keep this stuff on this side. Just
Okay,
so it's,
that makes sense.
Back.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The book says to have everybody read, chapter by chapter. Oh no, actually not. Actually, this part now. This part is me. Although we just spend a long time. Okay, I'm gonna have to adapt this a little bit. So we have our map. We've already seen it. We have the outlines on it. And that's going to be the canvas on which we draw, on which we sketch this place that we're going to be setting our game in. We're going to take turns drawing on this map. You don't have to worry about drawing well. Every drawing is good enough. There is a turn summary card that I've also put in rules. That card explains how play works from turn to turn or from week to week. We'll go over it soon. We are not using project dice for this. I'm going to be making notes in our note document about where projects are. These are going to be, we'll go over it in more detail as we go. We're going to just be tracking how long all of the projects that we establish on all of our turns have until they're completed with those. Normally, we would have things called contempt tokens. Contempt tokens represent simmering tensions in the community. We don't have tokens. What we're going to have to do is, normally, if something happens that you think would cause tension, you would put a token in front of you. Because we can't do that, just say contempt out loud. If you could also keep a note of how many contempt tokens you have, that would be great. I'm going to be making a note also. We'll compare notes later. Those don't have a mechanical function. Those are just there so we kind of have a sense of where the tensions are. And we play most of this game with a deck of cards. They represent our quiet year. Each suit is a season. At some point in winter, we'll draw the King of Spades. That's when the Frost Shepherds will arrive, or the Cognitus Empire will arrive, and the game will immediately end. I'm just going very briefly through this book to make sure that we're all on the same page. We are not going to be controlling characters in a traditional tabletop RPG kind of way. We are
Not for a quiet year, at least.
not for the quiet year. For the next game, probably. In this game, we act as abstract social forces in the community. At any point when we're discussing a specific thing happening, we could represent a single person. We could also represent like a huge part of the community. This is a game about social forces and their impact on the land rather than being about individuals. However, we are also playing as the community. So, I misread the tone of that sentence. At the same time, we're playing as the community. We're also looking for opportunities to introduce new and interesting challenges. It's our job to make sure there are always difficult decisions to be made and uncertainties to be explored. As we introduce interesting challenges for the community and then figure out how to address them, tensions will emerge that will ultimately reveal the character and feature of our community. Let's go ahead to resources. The way that this works is we go around the table, each of us names a resource that's important. It could be a resource we have very little of, it could be a resource we have a lot of, but either way, by naming this resource, you are saying this is something that is somehow important to the community's survival. The examples that are given in the book are clean drinking water, adequate shelter, and fish, just as examples. Do people want to throw out any resources?
This is what I was talking about earlier with maybe we could have technology be something as a resource.
Okay. Technology? We're going to get one from everyone. Anyone else have any ideas?
Farmable land.
Farmable land.
Do you give an idea too, or just us?
I do give an idea as well. I'm going to say transportation.
That's good.
On land and also between the islands.
Communication? Is that possible?
Okay. Are you talking in terms of like technology used to communicate, or
Like, I don't know, I was thinking like ships and stuff like that.
Well, that's kind of transportation.
True. Okay.
Also, when we're talking about technology, should we specify specifically like that super high tech technology that we were discussing?
Yeah, I think like the past technology,
Okay,
like
so ancient human tech.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna start calling that relics,
Archaeology.
just to have so we have one specific
Well,
term
that's
for it. Does that
good.
work?
That's good. Yeah. Maybe we could have relics and then separately technology is other stuff.
Okay.
Like technology as in like just what the normal technology is for the world. And then relics are the ancient technology.
Okay. So we're talking about like the average tech level of, well, that's not really a resource that we can build or lose, you know?
it is
Okay.
over a year, right?
It is over a year. I guess theoretically we could.
Well, let's think.
Is there anything like, are we using, when we're talking about the transportation, are the ships wind powered or are we using something to fuel them?
Can I revise the resource I came up with?
Sure.
I think it makes more sense to make it crops rather than farmable land.
That's a good point.
Yeah, because I was thinking like
Yeah.
animals, but I was like, does that count as that? So I guess just
So like livestock?
livestock.
Livestock works, I think.
Yeah, livestock, that absolutely works.
Okay.
How magical is this world, by the way?
Magical.
Okay.
Like, it's some parts of the world are just like a standard fantasy setting. Our world doesn't have to. I mean, our set part of the world doesn't have to look, you know, like Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, but like it can still have that level of magic if we want it to. We can play around with what that looks like.
Yeah. So like our area can be as magical as we want it to be.
Yeah.
Alright.
And now we choose one of those resources that we picked, and we have that one in abundance. All the other ones are scarce. What do we think is the most interesting to have in abundance, and what's most interesting to be scarce?
I mean, logically, probably like a lot of fish. We're a bunch of islands.
That's true.
I think it might be interesting to have transportation be the one that's particularly common.
Like maybe we are just like a big port area.
Well, because it would mean that the islands are particularly connected with each other.
That's true.
Okay. How do folks feel in general about these ideas? Like, is anyone leaning a specific way?
I like both those ideas. So crops or transportation, or no, it was like livestock or transportation. Kind of is what that says, like fish or boats.
Also, should we adjust if we're talking about fish? Should we talk about just like animals for food in general, not just like, because livestock doesn't really suggest fish to me.
Yeah. We could say
Yeah,
animals,
and
wildlife.
it makes sense to do livestock or animals. That being
Yeah.
said, I feel like transportation is more interesting if we are
I
only
think
going
so
with one.
too.
Okay, so transportation is our abundance then?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes
So-
sense.
In terms of how the world works, also, if we have an abundance of transportation, and and yet Dragartha is right below us, yet and it's a place that no one ever goes to because it's scary and stuff, and we have all that transportation, that means we could go there. So why don't we? So we should probably also figure that out.
Yeah. Well, Judith was
I mean, it's
talking
'cause-
about.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, this could be something that comes up, like just while we're drawing cards.
Yeah, I
but that could also be part of the framing of like who is our stand-ins for the jackals. It could be Dragartha,
Okay.
In the back
or it
of
could
our
be
head too,
communities
like
in Dragartha.
when we're making, because we make the scenarios, right?
Yes.
We could just make the Dragartha like experiences maybe like high risk, high reward kind of thing, because it's very difficult to go there, but it's abundant.
Yeah.
And I think particularly, I think us having an abundance of transportation and Dragartha being, say, a culture that isn't particularly seafaring, might be kind of interesting. It would explain why they haven't just immediately chased us here to invade, right? It would
Yeah.
explain
that
why,
makes
despite
sense.
being so close to the Cognatus Empire, they haven't really come into contact with each other.
I'm curious about just because we're islands and stuff like that, and also I think this could impact greatly this stuff. And I don't know where we would incorporate this, but also like how the weather would be around this area. I don't know if that would come up with the cards or something, or
It could.
how we.
In fact, I think it will probably come up in the cards.
Okay.
Now the difficult part. We have to draw these abundances and scarcities on the map. Just in some kind of simple, like iconic kind of way.
Okay.
No, like the thing that they tell us in this book is to avoid using words to whatever degree you can. Symbols are okay, but we want it to be mostly simple drawings.
So maybe each one of us can draw one of these things then.
What they say is that you should draw whichever one you named.
Okay.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, that's
Sorry.
that's okay. That was good. That was good.
Yeah.
No, that was a bad boat. But
No, it's fine.
It was.
I don't think we
I'll
have
draw
to.
the crops. I'll draw the crops. It's fine.
Okay.
Also, do we want to use different colors for everything after the like the actual borders that we'd already have done?
Yeah, that
Probably a
might be
good
nice.
idea.
Should we do blue if that's a choice we have? I don't see how we change the color.
That yellow is kind of hard to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we zoom in to draw any of these, or like, do we just want to have like a specific island has a lot of the crops or something like that?
Well, we don't have very many crops. Is the thing.
Yeah.
Just all
I-
do like
I know what I'm gonna
middle
do
click
for the
that makes you
crops.
draw. That's weird.
Okay.
It's kind of like wilting to show that there's a scarcity.
Judy, just so you know, stop drawing for a sec.
Oh, okay.
And move your pen out of. Okay. The canvas is on screen and your name is coming up.
Oh, my full name.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any way I can change that?
I'm not sure.
It might be your account.
Can you crop it or okay? Yeah. Give me a sec.
I should have thought of this. I'm sorry.
It's okay. How do I fix this?
Here, for now, I'm gonna take it off the screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, maybe we just won't have it on screen while we're drawing at all. It'll just be only once it's been drawn.
No,
on,
I want to.
like,
In the
each stage.
meantime, I want to try and figure this out. Just because, yeah.
And I'm drawing the wildlife. So am I just drawing like one wildlife thing somewhere?
We could do it that way. We have to think about like, does that suggest scarcity necessarily? Like, it's hard to figure out how you draw a scarcity, but like it could be like animal bones or something.
Okay. So I'm not drawing
Well-
like the
well-
locations of these things.
No, I mean, kind of the location of them, but that's not as much the important part. It's a little hard that we're doing this on like little islands because if you draw it on one island, it suggests that that's just on that island, but we can kind of understand that that's not what's happening.
I need to change colors.
All right, this should hopefully fix it. What's my name showing up as?
It's still the same.
Seriously?
Yeah, I can't believe there's no way to just change what your like display name
I
is on
changed
your
my
pen.
display name to Judy.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. What the hell?
What do we have abundance of again?
Transportation.
Okay.
Which I guess I will draw. I will draw.
Change the color of it. That's a big transportation.
Well, wait, we have a lot of it.
That's true. I want all the boats to actually look like that.
I'm gonna try this one more time. What's my name showing up as now?
Still the same. I'm sorry.
What?
What if you like sign out from this account and join in another?
That's what I tried to do.
Hmm.
Do you
Okay,
have a
I'm-
different Google account?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Sorry, it's being so funky.
It's okay. Okay, let's try this. Any luck?
No.
Nope.
What?
Unfortunately.
I'm signed in on a different account.
That's weird.
Okay, one more try. Gonna just make a new account, whatever.
It says, when I ask the help thing, it says you can go to the home page, to settings, and select edit across your name and enter a new one.
That's what I did. I think maybe the issue is that it's not updating for you guys.
Yeah, should we try refreshing maybe?
Yeah, will this
Yeah,
still be
maybe.
here?
It should be. Do you want to save first? Just
Is there a save
I don't
button?
think there's. I think it's supposed to be saving constantly, but
Let's just try doing this then.
All right, let me know when it's ready.
Okay, yeah, go in on the page. Yep,
now
it's
it's
good.
Judy. We're good.
Okay.
Which means we can display it again on the thing.
Yes. Okay, we're good.
Sorry about all of that.
That's okay.
No, it's fine.
All right. Yeah, so what I was doing before was, I wanted the crop to be like wilting to show that there's scarcity of it.
I made my fish stinky because there's a scarcity of it too.
When I saw you adding the stink lines, I'm like, yes.
Yeah,
good
there's
idea.
stinky fish.
All I can think of is that that one post that's like stinky.
Stinky.
Or like the British reading of
Yeah.
yeah.
Stinky.
Okay.
Is that a line from Disco Elysium that I don't know?
No, it's not. Like that is literally if you go to Google and you ask them how to pronounce it and you tell them to do the slow pronunciation, that's what they do.
Amazing.
Adams, what do you draw?
I drew a little
Technology.
robo remote for technology.
Okay.
So that
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily suggest a scarcity. I wonder if there's a way that we can change
was
the
it-
drawing to.
This was for scarcity?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that's not
Okay, my
scarce is the
mistake.
boat, which is what Jody drew.
So
My
I'm sorry.
wonderful.
We
giant
do
boat.
have a scarcity of technology?
Yeah.
Is that-
Yes. The only thing that we
Okay.
have an abundance of is transportation.
Let me just get a little. No, I dropped my pinks back.
Wait, no, the pronunciation for stinky on Google doesn't
Yeah, I
sound like
assumed,
that. Even
I
if you make
assumed
it
that
slow.
was edited.
Oh, if only. Okay.
You were hoping it was real?
I was hoping it was real.
I was
Because
pretty
it's also
sure it was
you
edited.
also have to choose specifically British pronunciation.
I did.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know.
okay.
I didn't think it would actually do that.
It's
Oh,
it's
if
a
only.
woman's voice.
Oh.
Stinky.
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 Big, is it?
I haven't thought
What
about
was
that
that?
in
Wait,
so
what
long.
was that from again?
Those DMs you got.
Oh my god! The DMs. Oh, I remember. Big is it?
Okay, I made my remote broken.
Okay, it's broken.
Cool. All right. So that means we can move on. This is the part that we are supposed to read bit by bit, like around the table. We're on chapter 3, play.
Okay.
You can switch it. So, like, if you want, do you want them to see this?
I mean,
Here, hang on. Let me
I guess.
share this screen. So now you guys can see the screen that we're sharing here.
All right, I'll start off reading the week. Each week in our year is a turn taken by one player. With play moving clockwise around the table, we'll figure out the turn order in some other way. The other players are quiet audience members unless prompted otherwise. Weeks take an average of 2 to 3 minutes to complete. Each week follows these 3 phases in order. Play a card. The active player draws a card, reads the relevant text aloud, and resolves it. I'm going to have to just draw the card for everyone because I couldn't get Roll20 to work the way I wanted to because it's a piece of shit. Bold text indicates that the card has specific rules. Adjust the dice. The active player reduces each project die by 1, and any finished projects are updated. Take an action. The active player chooses and takes an action. Discover something new, hold a discussion, or start a project. Who wants to read Play a Card?
I can read it.
Okay.
Excuse me, I got as soon as I said that. As there are 52 cards, so there are 52 weeks. We won't necessarily get to play them all. The Frost Shepherds could arrive any time during winter. Most cards have 2 options to choose from, with an or divider in between. Pick the option that you find the most interesting and fitting, and read the text aloud. The card might ask you a question, bring bad news, or create an opportunity. If you drew the card, it's up to you to make all of the decisions. Many cards have bold text, which indicates specific rules to follow. These don't affect other phases of the week. Whenever it makes sense for a situation, add new drawings and symbols to the map to reflect what has changed.
So I want to really emphasize this part. If you're playing the card, you have complete ownership. You can ask for, not ownership, authorship. You can ask for ideas if you want, but you are the person who makes the decision. There was something else I was going to say, and I lost it, but that's really important to emphasize. Let's scroll down. Who wants to read Adjust the Dice?
I'll do it.
Never mind.
Fuck you. Adjust the dice. Unless your card specifically told you otherwise in bold text, the next phase of the week is adjusting the dice. Reduce each project die on the map by 1. If a project reaches 0, the die gets removed and the project is completed. Whoever started the project gets to tell everyone how it turns out and update the map to reflect its completion. If the project finished early because of a card, instead the player will tell everyone how it turns out. If project die was just put on the board a moment ago as a result of a card, don't adjust it this week. It's getting underway. A completed project is usually successful. This doesn't always mean that the whole community is happy with the results, but it generally goes as planned. An exploration project will always find something. I'm far away from the screen. Sorry.
You need glasses.
I do.
Yeah.
I have an eye appointment this week.
Now, Badams, do you want to read Discover Something New?
Sure. One of the 3 action types is discover something new. Introduce a new situation. It might be a problem, an opportunity, or a bit of both. Draw that situation onto the map. Drawing should be small and simple, smaller than an inch, finished in under 30 seconds. Whenever things seem too controlled and easy, we can use this action to introduce new issues and dilemmas. When individual characters get named, we can record those names on an index card.
Hold a discussion. Another of the 3 action types is hold a discussion. You can choose to open with a question or a statement. Starting from you, going clockwise, each player gets to weigh in once, with a single statement of 1 to 2 sentences. If you open with a question, you get to weigh in last. If you opened with a statement, that's it for you.
I'm going to move this real quick.
Okay?
Moving this over here so the stream can see it also.
Okay. A discussion never results in a decision being made. Everyone weighs in, then it's over. This is how conversations work in communities. They're untidy and inconclusive affairs. It's important to stick to 1 to 2 sentences. If any of us feel like we have more to say on a topic, we can always hold another discussion about it on another week. Each discussion is tied to a situation on the map. When the discussion ends, mark the situation with a small dot. And I want to emphasize this. When we're in these stages, the game is actually very specific that people do not give their opinion. People don't get to talk. You only get to talk or give your opinion during hold a discussion, except by giving a contempt token, which we'll get to more later. And I'll just finish up start a project.
Wait, so when do the action types actually happen? I'm a little confused.
So these 3 actions, hold a discussion, start a project, discover something new, those are choosing one of those is the 3rd stage of every turn.
Okay,
so
got it.
you draw the card and we figure that whole thing out. Then we advance all the project clocks, and then we choose one of these 3 things.
Got it.
The last of the 3 action types is start a project. You choose a situation and declare what the community will do to resolve it. There is no agreeing or disagreeing. The community simply begins work. As a group, quickly decide how many weeks the project would take to complete, from 1 to 6. Remember, you're a small community. It isn't easy or quick to build a house or repair a water wheel. If a project would reasonably take longer than 6 weeks to complete, it will need to be completed in stages. Place a project die on the map with a number showing how many weeks it will take to complete. Again, I'll actually be tracking this in our document.
I'm just so used to it being called a 6-step clock.
I know.
Also, so I like something that I talked about with you, Jody, off stream is like I am bad at instructions, so that was kind of hard for me to follow this. So I'll just like learn as we actually start getting into it.
Also, if you're able to go on your phone to Discord, there is a thing. Actually, I can just show you on here. At the end of the document, and also I've put a smaller version of it in Discord. We have the turn summary. So that helps keep it, I think, pretty simple.
Yeah.
And it's okay if, it's not immediately intuitive. We're all just going to work together on this, and we'll go as slow as we need to.
So card, dice, action, CDA.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is that you all set? Okay. We're not going to read the examples that they give for like how example situations, example discussions, example projects. We can come back to that if we need ideas. Who wants to read contempt tokens?
I guess we can just continue the order, so it'll be Judy.
Yep. Okay. Go ahead, Judy.
If you ever feel like you weren't consulted or honored in a decision-making process, you can take a piece of contempt and place it in front of you. This is how we express disagreement or tension. If someone makes a statement or starts a project that you don't agree with, you don't get to speak out of turn. You are instead invited to take a piece of contempt. So I guess in our case, we would technically speak out of turn, but we would just go, contempt!
Basically.
Contempt of court!
Please keep track of how much content you have. I'll also keep track, and we'll just try to make sure we're on the same page about that.
All right. Contempt will generally remain in front of players until the end of the game. It will act.
Can we say objection instead of contempt?
No.
Ah.
I like contempt. It will act as a reminder of past tensions. If someone else does something that you greatly support that would mend relationships and rebuild trust, you can discard a contempt token to show that you have healed past tensions.
And in that case, just say, I'm removing a contempt token or something like that.
Having an I'm pissed meter in your game goes so crazy.
I know, especially because it doesn't have any mechanical purpose. It's literally just there for that.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Also, just want to specify to the chat also real quick. So this is like this might seem a little bit slow to everybody because we're just reading instructions, and I just want to say that this is because this is the first episode. Mm-hmm. We're learning what we're doing here.
Yes.
And also, this beginning is like the creation of the world, whereas later on we'll actually get into gameplay and storytelling.
Yes.
So stick with us, basically. Gonna read the chat real quick. Also, Outhand says, I like water. Zach said, I'm not a fan of water. And then Zach said, not farmable land. All right. Anyways, let's go.
Honestly, we don't need to read pacing, I don't think. I'll just quickly read abundance and scarcity. At the start of the game, we'll have 1 resource in abundance and at least that many in scarcity. We have 3 in scarcity. These lists are guides for interpreting the health of the community. We can add or subtract things from these lists whenever it feels appropriate to do so. Maybe the completion of a project alleviates a scarcity or creates an abundance. Some weekly cards will alter the lists as well. All right. I don't think we super need to read the rest of this. I think most of it will kind of just come up as it comes up. What I will say is there's a section here on restraint, which is again what I said about how when we are doing the 3rd stage of the each turn, if it's not your turn, you cannot speak unless it is to hold a discussion. We don't have to I'm not punishing you if you do. You're all adults, Just try to honor the spirit of it.
I'm for.
That means bad things about me. That's not good.
It means many bad things.
It means many, very many bad things. All right. Should we get started, I
Yeah.
suppose?
I'm heckin' ready.
All right. So in the back of the book, and also in the Discord chat, there's something called the Oracle for each season. This tells you what all the cards mean. I'm gonna have to draw cards for everyone, unfortunately. But who would like to go first? And actually, we should establish an order.
I was thinking alphabetical.
Alphabetical,
I was
or even
thinking
just the order
the
of the
two people
Discord.
that I was thinking the two people that have heard the game before.
That's good.
That'd
Okay,
be good for
so
me.
Jody, then Judith, and then Badams, then Pepper.
Yeah, if that's okay.
So, JJ, BP,
Joju
Okay.
BP.
Joju Bate.
okay. I've also if you later I'm just doing this for myself, but like that's the order I just put the contempt token as part of my notes in.
Okay.
So that's how I'll
Do you mind if I
remember.
step away for a sec to grab a soda?
Go right
Absolutely
ahead.
fine.
I'm gonna take a sip of my soda.
Pepper, I need to get another tab and put it
Yeah.
in here. Should I just
Just the next to the display where it says up a little bit. There's an eye.
ah,
Okay.
cool. Okay.
Oh, I'm back. Hello.
You're back. Hello.
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 Hello. Remember that they can also see that. The Judith and Badams can see that screen on the right there.
Again. Oh, cool.
We should have made soda one of our resources.
Or no, they can't see that one. They can see the other one.
Okay.
The PDF.
All right. I guess I'm going first. 'Cause that's
Okay.
what we said. I'm gonna draw a card. Oh, and this thing, the tool I'm using doesn't it doesn't like it just draws a new card completely from a new deck every time. So if we get repeats, we're just gonna have to like keep going until we get a new card, which is one reason I'm taking notes.
I have a physical deck of cards. Do you want me to just do that instead?
That would probably be better.
That would probably be better. You'd have to separate it out
Alright.
by suit, but that won't take very long.
No, it won't. I'll go grab it.
Thank you so much. We-
Thank you so much.
We looked for a deck of cards earlier and we could not find one.
Yeah. So, Badams, how you doing?
Friggin' EP.
Right, I'm gonna separate it into
Freaking
4
EP.
piles.
We did start a little bit later than we wanted to today.
Yeah.
It's alright.
I think there's probably a good chance we'll get through spring today, and then we can worry about the other 3 seasons next time.
Okay.
Also, so each season ends when we draw the king. I'm just gonna kind of house rule it that we are going to at least get one turn before that happens. So if someone draws the king, then we'll still let everyone get a turn, and then the person who drew the king will do the things on the king card.
Imagine drawing 4 kings in a row.
Oh, shit.
Theoretically, it
It's a
could
very
happen.
quiet year.
It's so quiet. I mean, I guess with the, what was it, like 52 something, you know?
What?
Like, the likely, never mind. You know what? Never mind. It's out. It's gone.
Yeah, the
Thoughts
odds
gone.
would be 52 to the 4th, which is
Factorial, that's the phrase.
not
No, wouldn't that-
factorial.
But that's the
It would
order
just-
of the cards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be
Yeah,
50,
shows
52
you
by
that-
times 51 times 50 times 49.
This is
Yeah,
dumb.
you're right. I'm silly. All right, very close
Sorry
to
about
getting this
that.
done, and then I'm just gonna shuffle them.
Sorry about that, Chad. Didn't mean to do that.
You don't even have to worry too much about shuffling right now. You can just shuffle the hearts, because that's all we need for right now.
That's true. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to do this again every time. It's fine.
I can
don't
also use my
mind.
tool. It's okay if we just use our tool.
No, I would rather do this.
Okay.
It's gonna make it more fun to actually,
Yeah.
have
I agree.
consistent odds.
Yeah.
All right, just let me know when you're ready for me to draw a heart.
Whenever you're ready.
All right, so it's your turn.
Yes.
All right. 8 of hearts.
8 of hearts. An old piece of machinery is discovered, broken but perhaps repairable. What is it? What would it be useful for? Or, an old piece of machinery is discovered, cursed and dangerous. How does the community destroy it?
This could be perfect for relics.
It could.
Wait, am I supposed to not talk?
No, it's fine. It's fine to talk for this part. It's fine to give ideas, especially like if the person whose turn it is asks for ideas.
Okay. And also, once again, we're creating this whole area and this world stuff together, but also I know that there are some things I know. So like, I like this world was created a few years ago. So if there are other questions, like please ask me and I can answer questions about the world also.
Yeah. I'm going to say that.
What's the name of these islands again?
Natoja.
Natoja.
Natoja. Okay. Actually, I should write that down in our notes document. How are we spelling that? N-O-T... Oh, O-S-I-A?
O-S-I... Yeah.
Okay. I think either way I go with this question, it's gonna be that a relic washes up from one of those wrecks. I think it's kind of more interesting if it's bad. So I'm gonna say,
Do we want to establish first what the context of these people arriving here is?
Yeah, we probably should do that. That's a
Like,
good
we have
point.
no
Judith.
idea who this community is.
Yes.
Yeah, and
And
when
that's
this
not
takes place.
necessarily... Yeah.
Like, is the
Like-
Cognitus Empire already here, or is this...
No.
The Cognitus Empire has already established itself like in a landmass that we call the Cognitus Empire. It is not in this island chain yet.
Okay.
And frankly, since these people are from Jakarta, they probably don't know
Are we from
that the
Jakarta?
Cognatus.
You could be.
That's what I thought would be interesting, would be if we had like fled from Jakarta. That's why we're in this island chain.
Fled from
and-
Jakarta for what reason?
That's for us to decide.
Do we want it to be persecution? Do we want it to be some kind of natural disaster that kind of made people flee? Do we want it to be, Those are the two that come to mind, but I bet there's others.
So, if we fled from Jakarta, we are most... And if these people fled from Jakarta, they're most likely not humans.
Yes.
So, we can also figure out like what sort of species or types of people we want these to be.
That's fair. And it could be a mix even.
Yeah.
Not necessarily saying that's what we should do, but just that is an option. If we wanted to go the persecution angle, they could all be the same species.
Yeah.
Or it could be
All
persecution.
monsters are persecuted by the Cognitus Empire.
It could be persecution, and it's not related to their species. They could be a mix. Like, does anyone have any thoughts?
I mean, I've got a couple, but I don't want to dominate the kind of...
Go ahead. If you have thoughts, you have
You have
thoughts.
ideas.
I mean, I was thinking, like, I don't know, maybe there's some kind of internal civil war going on in Jakarta that they're fleeing from.
Yeah. That could be good.
Yeah. Okay. We don't have to sketch out the factions, but yeah. I think just there is some kind of civil war, and people are leaving. I think
I mean,
that's
half
fair.
the time when a civil war happens, the people on the ground don't even know what's going on with the factions.
That's fair.
So we can say that they fled, and this was probably a while ago, and because we've already started to set up like transportation and stuff here.
Yeah. And we could even say like they were like coastal people in Jakarta, which is why they had access to that kind of transportation in the first place.
So,
Yeah, I have a one more detail about this that could make it kind of interesting.
go ahead.
That kind of grounds it in like something that happened historically, which is like historically in like the like Central Asian steppe, what caused a lot of large migrations of people groups was one group getting pushed out of an area, moving into another group's area, which causes a domino effect that just pushes everyone in one direction. So what if there is a kind of empire, and we don't know, not even necessarily empire, but like kingdom in Dragartha that we don't necessarily know the details of, but we know that they're nomadic riders, and that's why they don't sail. And
That could be good.
we don't know why they've come up against the coast, but they were fleeing something else, and
I
they
like
drove
that.
us. out of the continent.
Okay, I like that.
I like anything that we're doing that kind of fleshes out Dragartha a little bit.
Yeah,
Because
agree.
I'm kind of thinking for our next game, it's probably, or the setting's probably not just going to be these islands. It might be parts of Dragartha also. So anything that gives us that little bit of flavor, I really like that. Oh, there was another question. Damn it. I gotta actually write these things down or I'm never going to remember to ask them.
So I have a question then. So we've fled here. We've started building these communities. How long ago was that from when this quiet year, is starting?
I'm going to say immediately before.
Okay,
because,
so that we just got here.
Yes, because like that's the framing of the game. Whatever disaster that just happened, it literally just happened, and we have this one quiet year.
Okay, so we just got here. That means there's like basically no communities here yet.
Yes.
Okay, so we just have a lot of boats that we got here on. There's a lot of plant life that we immediately are gonna start looking at, I guess, soon. And they're, well, I guess that's not. It's scarce, but it's scarce, but it's not like not there. So there's plant life, animals, and then the technology.
Yeah. And like, are
sorry.
we separate communities between these islands, or are we all kind of just like one people? Which I'm leaning towards us all just being like one big community because I think transportation facilitates that, like having an
I
abundance
like
of
the
transportation.
idea of being like connected, but we need the transportation to tell each other what's going on and to like share information and stuff like that.
So
That's a good idea, especially because like transportation could become a scarcity, and if that happens, we kind of have an idea already of what would happen.
So, also, how many people are here in this community? Because once again, each one of these like islands is the size of like a U.S. state.
Okay.
Like I just want us to remember that these islands are not tiny.
That's true.
I
So
think
there's probably
also
some degree of fragmentation no matter what. But
yeah.
What?
Well, are we
I think-
assuming that every island is fully populated? It could just be a settlement on each, and we're
That's
exploring
true.
each island.
Yeah.
that is true.
Yeah, just like maybe a port that we're creating or something.
Yeah,
I was just gonna
start of
I was just going to make one more suggestion about the background of all of this. Just since I think, Jody, earlier you mentioned the idea of us, like, needing to venture back onto Dragartha for something at some point during this. For convenience's sake, I was thinking maybe we should call the people who drove us out the Riders.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
I think that makes sense.
Since Dragartha is like, well, actually, no, never mind. I was gonna say since it's like the mysterious, like dark place of like mysterious creatures and like I'm kind of comparing it almost to a less dramatic version of like Mordor even. That was always my like thought, but also like that's open to change. I was gonna say though that like maybe things they're riding are dragons or like small vins, but then they probably would be able to get out of Dragartha. So
Yeah, it should be
maybe not
something that has to run. It doesn't have to be horses, but
Yeah, that's why I didn't say, like, the Horseman or something. Like, I think Riders keeps it to the point where maybe the community we're focusing on doesn't even know who the hell these people were who showed up.
So I actually have a concept that I had recently started looking into for one of my characters that doesn't have to do with this campaign, but it does have to do with the world, and I think this could actually fit here. What if the things they ride, so this character I have is like a wizard scientist basically, and he has created through science and wizardry and magic basically, I don't know, like a small house-sized flesh golem that has flesh and like machinery in it that moves, and it's his way of transportation. What if this place is where those things can come from?
like Dragartha
like
is?
that.
Or...
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
yeah.
what if like there's not many outside of this area, but in this area people have figured out how to create these like flesh golems that they ride.
That also does help set some stuff up for the later game, so thank you for that.
Cool.
I like that.
And if we want to give them a less generic name than the Riders, we could call them the Man Riders, which sounds... Actually, never mind.
The Man Riders! Yeah!
I'm sorry.
Judith, sometimes you need to learn to think before you talk.
Can we just call them the Dick
Listen.
Riders?
Can
I
we
want-
change settlements actually?
Yeah, actually, I want to play in
I wanna be on that
Claremont.
team.
Oh, I see what you mean.
How about the toll riders? Because they're,
Tall riders.
yeah.
That's cool.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. So getting back to my turn.
We should probably also write some of this down too.
Yes, you're
You-
right.
You probably are better at doing that because I can't reach the keyboard.
Uh,
Like tall riders, Notoja. Just like some, I think we should have like a little dictionary of things.
Notoja, tall riders, etc.
Yeah.
that was how you spelled Dragartha, right?
Mhm.
Just fleeing tall riders on Dragartha. What other details are we going with?
We are from the coast mainly.
Our boon is what's our boon again? Transportation, right?
That's
Yeah.
the thing we have a lot of. Yeah.
Okay.
And also like another thing we should write down here is that we have mainly made our locations on like one community per island, basically, also on the coast.
Okay. And are we saying each main island, or even like a settlement on each of the tiny little islands?
So I think we could like, is it okay to draw outside of the cards?
What do you mean?
Like the cards are gonna and the game is gonna have us draw, but I was gonna say, what if we just like colored in or something like that each island we have people on?
We could do that, or even just like little dots, like there's a settlement here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna draw like a person riding a golem on Dragartha.
You can do that.
You can do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You do that. Bottoms, you pick 3 islands to put people on, and then Jody, you pick 3 islands. How about that?
Okay.
So I'm sorry, am I like
Just
just putting a
put it-
point on the island? For
Yeah,
when
put like
somebody
a
goes?
nice solid circle, in the color red on 3 islands of your choice where people have settled.
I feel like this is starting to look too much like Clark from Connecticut.
What?
I do.
What is that?
It's
why
a
is it yellow?
comic.
You can press undo.
Have you heard the
Control-Z.
like Connecticut water thing?
I think it's because you were using a highlighter.
Yeah. I wanted something that has like a wider tip. Oh, there's a finer tip thing there. Yeah, I'm dumb. Weight a little bit higher. Part of me almost wants to say, what if this like big one here we're not settling for some reason?
Okay.
Yeah,
Can I
maybe
do
it's
one?
too close to Dragartha or something.
Maybe.
I like the idea of us just being on this little tip right here.
Has some of the wildlife that's dangerous there, maybe?
Yeah. Maybe some escaped of these escaped flesh golems. I forget. I actually had a name.
Yeah, I
for
was gonna
them.
say there's like feral golems.
I had a specific name for them. I want to search up what it was. I have it written down somewhere.
Every time I think of a name for something like this, it accidentally. I'm just not gonna say it.
What is it?
No,
What is it?
you will laugh as soon as I say
Yes,
it.
that's the
That-
point.
that's- yeah.
That's the good thing.
This is content,
I was
Judith.
gonna say we could call them the flesh mounts.
Hell yeah. That's
Yes,
actually kind of good.
that is.
Like,
But
it sounds kind of creepy.
yeah. Joey, right? Like how many? We have like 6 settlements.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So I had I actually did come up with a name for these flesh golem things. So they can either like the idea was what I called them was crawling Goliaths. Or creeping kin for the smaller ones. How does that sound?
I like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay.
So we should probably add that to the the dictionary.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Don't be sorry.
Creeping Goliaths was it? Crawling Goliaths.
Crawling Goliaths.
So do they crawl? I drew one as being bipedal.
We could come up with a
The
different name.
little ones, right?
The creeping, like, the thing for these was that, like, the Crawling Goliath I had come up in my head was, like, it was almost like a vehicle because it's so much mechanical as well as flesh.
And also, I feel like it's okay if the drawing isn't, like, 100% accurate.
Yeah. And also we can come up with stuff together. Like,
Yeah.
like maybe Crawling Goliath is that type. Maybe this type is a different one. Like, what could this type be? Running Goliath, I don't know.
On the other hand,
Whoa. That's actually, I
yeah,
like that.
Yeah, that's good.
right? That way it is kind of crawling. It's almost kind of like walking like a gorilla.
Yeah,
I like that.
that's good.
I like crawl. Like, you don't think of gorillas as crawling,
Yeah.
but, like, having them walk like gorillas but with, like, a weird crawling gait is so
Yeah.
creepy. I love
Yeah.
that.
That's good.
Yeah.
This is good. I love creating things with people. This is so
Yeah,
fun.
this is really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All
So, right.
Johanna, back to your turn.
Back to my turn. It's okay. Like, I'm glad that we fleshed that out because we needed to.
Yeah.
Fleshed it out.
Ho ho.
Yeah, haha.
I'm gonna ride this tall rider.
I want to say something radioactive washes up. And
Ooh.
I'm not sure if these people have a sense of what radioactivity is. I don't
Yeah.
think they would, right?
Probably not.
This is not a
So-
place of honor.
Yeah. So I think that, like, they can only really conceptualize it as a curse.
You could have it so that shows up specifically on the island that no one goes to.
That's a good idea, and that's why no one goes there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they tried to and they died.
Yeah.
And I'm imagining this as, sorry, is this a point where I shouldn't?
I think we should. I think sharing ideas is good.
Okay, because I was thinking, like, if this is like acute radiation poisoning, then let's say there was a community on this island right when everyone shows up,
I was
and
gonna.
then everyone basically dies of radiation poisoning, which looks like your skin just starting to peel off and
Yeah.
your organs decomposing from the inside. Like, yeah, that's got to be the most horrifying thing. They probably all think the island is cursed.
So
Yeah.
another thing to even like go on more of that. So we have 6 settlements we just drew, right?
Yeah.
What if it was 7 groups of people and one of them went to that island and the other 6 settlements just haven't heard from them since?
And to be clear, this radioactive thing, because this is week 1, it just washed up. So maybe they're not. Maybe there is a settlement on this island, but it's very suddenly not doing well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. Do you want to draw like a different color one there?
Yeah, good idea. And then I'm also going to draw.
We should have picked a discussion as our action for this and done that, but
Well, we haven't done it. We haven't even gotten to that point yet.
I know.
That's the next thing. Here. I shouldn't have done red. Oh well.
I think it works.
Yeah.
I still see it.
I'm just gonna zoom in a bunch so I can draw my actual thing. This is gonna be bad. I'm gonna try anyway.
Did you try with Control Plus?
You know, you could also like here. Can I see it real quick?
Yeah. No, the point is to draw. Like, I'm not gonna.
You don't want it?
No.
Well, not even trace it. Just have it as it's just a symbol.
What do you mean?
Like,
Oh, no, I'm just gonna. I'm gonna try to draw it.
okay,
It's
go
gonna be
ahead.
fine. It's gonna be not be great, but that's fine. That's good. Oh, why is it? Okay, there we go.
My Jody's an artist.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna erase that first one. That was bad.
I
Hey,
was thinking about drawing more legs onto this thing, but
wait, is it not zoomed in for you guys right now?
it is.
Like it's zoomed in on
Oh.
the small island.
Oh no, I mean I manually zoomed it in.
No, what I mean is right now on my screen where Jody is drawing, we're zoomed in on a small one of those islands. Is it not zoomed in like that for you?
Nope.
Okay, so we can zoom in then.
That's
We're
good to know.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we can zoom in separately from you guys then. That's good. I don't know if that's because we opened up a new tab.
Oh, I shouldn't have done that.
By the way, Judy,
Yeah.
you know how Jody has been enjoying being called Jody recently, right?
Yeah.
Have you tried calling her Chody? Because I
No.
have, and it's pretty funny.
I simply wouldn't do that.
I've done
know
it
you
many
wouldn't.
times.
That's why I love you, Judy.
Wait, what does this imply about me?
That's the reason.
What does
No
it
other
imply about
reason,
you?
Just that.
What does it imply? Like you love people who don't call you Chody, and
Yep.
I've been calling you Chody.
Yep.
Oh no.
I've made it very clear I don't like that.
Wait,
I'm-
actually,
I'm joking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, if you actually don't want me to call you that, I will not call you that.
Thinking about giving this thing 6 legs, but no, I think it's more unsettling if it looks almost kind of like a giant gibbon,
So-
but like
I actually have an idea for that. So I don't think you've seen Halo 4 much, have you?
no.
Well, in Halo 4, some of the enemies have like smaller arms that like T-Rex arms that come out of their chest.
Wait, who does?
The Prometheans.
Do they? Oh, that's right, they do. I totally forgot.
Like that could be kind of cool if they had like 2 smaller T-Rex arms coming out of their chest.
Oh, I think I know where I want to go with that then.
Okay.
Because this isn't going to be 2 T-Rex arms. This thing has mandibles coming out of its chest.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, I like the world building that we're doing, but these drawings are
Yeah.
supposed to be 30 seconds each.
No,
I'm sorry.
I don't know. I think that would be. We'd have less interesting stuff if we did that.
I see what you mean.
Like,
yeah.
I don't
It's
want to
supposed to be a
hinder
very
our
long game,
creativity. I think that's okay.
I mean,
This
that's
isn't-
okay. Like, it can be multiple streams. It is already going to be multiple streams.
Leave
Like,
it to the ML to try and enforce the rules. Actually,
I just
no,
wanted
this
to
is
make
more
sure that we were
sinister if
pacing it
doesn't
all
have a
right.
mouth.
Okay. Well, how about we can do some of these things
Yeah.
simultaneously?
Okay.
So
So-
you did your thing.
yeah.
What's the next thing?
So there are no project dice set up yet. So we're just going to move on to the next stage, which let me quickly
Action?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember exactly what the actions are. I am gonna hold a discussion, which is a discussion that is held by the members of our community. Should we leave the people of the cursed island to their fate, or should we try to help them and risk ourselves in the process?
So, well, I think we should also specify, like, just to understand. So they fled. We all fled to these areas, and one of them went there. So we have seen them now at this point. We've seen that they look all radiated.
Yeah, like they've clearly started getting sick, and anyone who has tried to help them has clearly also started to get sick.
Okay.
So, 1 or 2 sentence responses, nothing more. Should we leave them, or should we continue to try to help them and put ourselves at risk?
And we're representing, like,
If we
You're
were to
representing
help,
just
we would invoke the
a segment of
wrath
people.
of that which cursed them.
okay.
That's my sentence.
I think there'll be, like, in one of the other settlements, there'll be a well-meaning group.
Literally just 1 sentence. You don't have to like give context for who's saying it.
Okay.
Just if you are saying it, that means that there are people who think this.
We can't give up on them.
We should send boats to observe them and not get close, but try to keep tabs on what's happening.
Okay. And there's no resolution for a discussion. It's just over now. So it's the next person's turn.
Which means these people might just die of radiation poisoning while we're discussing it. But
Might. Maybe whoever, like someone on
Yeah.
a subsequent turn could choose to do a project about that.
All right.
Or
Speaking
could make a
of.
decision. Yeah.
So that's
Who
1 week
of
passed.
That's 1 week
hearts?
past.
So our settlements have been here for a week now.
Yes. And let me just make a note of that.
Gideon. Oh yeah, I should mention for the viewers, my cat Gideon has been hanging out with me this whole time.
Yay, kitty. Adorable kitty. Okay.
He's a very needy little guy.
Do you want to try drawing a card, Judy?
Oh, I already did.
Okay. What do you get?
2 of hearts.
2
So-
of hearts.
Do you want to read it?
Oh, you go ahead. Sorry, I
Yeah,
forgot that you
you
also
go
had
ahead.
No, it's
access.
okay. There's a large body of water on the map. Where is it? What does it look like? Or there's a giant man-made structure on the map. Where is it? Why is it abandoned? I like that second one a lot more. I mean,
I think
Yeah, I
it's
was
because the
gonna
first
say.
one's kind of obvious.
Yeah, we know what the body of water is.
yeah. So I'm gonna say there's a giant man-made structure on the map. I'm gonna say it's. Do I get to say what it is?
I'd assume so. Like, why is it abandoned would include what it is.
Yeah, because I'm gonna
Or
say.
at least, or not necessarily like, maybe it's what people's conception is of what it is, not necessarily what it really is.
That could be. It could be
Oh.
either.
It could be
Because
either. Yeah, to be fair.
I have a very fun idea for this then.
What is it?
There is a tower here with a bright eye at the top
Sauron.
that angrily shines at all who approach it.
Interesting.
Is it shining at the settlement on the island adjacent to it?
Do you
Or
want
is
me to
that not
like
close
break
enough?
character for a sec? It's a lighthouse.
Oh, I'm dumb.
They have no context for what a lighthouse is.
Well, I think they might. Like, lighthouses in some form have existed.
Yeah, you know
In-
what? That's condescending of me. I'm
Especially if we are people who transport ourselves by boat all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. In that case, I do have a different idea then. Still a tower and still one that emits light, but instead this smaller island right here, off the coast of this one, right?
Yeah.
It's always day there. The tower makes it so that it's always bright.
Okay.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Which is why it's abandoned, because that entire area is abandoned because no one can sleep and it's
Yeah.
throwing off everyone's
So-
circadian rhythm.
Question. Once again, just like bringing about the whole size of things. That whole area is probably like the size of like.
I'm redrawing that because that does not.
I think it was good.
No,
It looked a little too much like
Do you just have a dirty mind?
you know
No.
this about Judy.
So that island is like it's smaller than the rest, but it is still like
You want
I
me to
don't know,
zoom
like-
in so it's
Delaware sized.
yeah.
Which I think makes this
I
work
might
even
pick-
better. If that entire
Connecticut-sized.
if that entire like Connecticut-sized island is just eternally daytime.
Yeah, I mean like that's okay. I just
Well,
wanted to make
yeah.
sure that was
Also,
known
what does that look like from the outside?
from places
Like,
that are not that.
like
island.
if you're on a boat approaching that island during nighttime, what does that look like to
Probably
you?
it probably kind of looks like the skyline of a city.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Also, do you mind if I close the window?
Go ahead.
I mean, the actual real world thing that this isn't actually necessarily, but it's kind of inspired by is a moon tower. If you've ever heard of one of those,
I've heard of those.
I haven't heard
they
of
were
that. What
they
is
were
that?
they were this scheme to basically kind of eliminate the need for like lampposts by just having one big tower that beamed out light at night. Obviously, it was a terrible idea, and they completely failed. But
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
here we go. Moonlight Tower is a lighting structure designed to illuminate areas of a town or city at night. Only a collection of towers in Austin, Texas, have historically been called moonlight towers, but they were a common thing.
That's cool.
Yeah. All right. So
There's no project dice to advance, so now you get to take an action.
this is tempting. I could do discover something new. No, it's too early on. I'm gonna say start a project.
Okay, what for?
You scuttle a ship on the shore of the radioactive island so that no one else can go there.
Like
Basically,
because
to
it's a
create-
physical barrier, or because it's like an omen.
Yeah, because it's a physical barrier, just to
Okay.
keep people from sailing past it, essentially.
What does scuttle a ship mean?
Like intentionally sink it.
Deliberately sink it. Yeah.
So we sink one of the ships they already had.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
So how many weeks do we think that takes? Probably not a lot.
Yeah, I'd say probably like 2 or 3.
whole weeks to do that. Because if you're just like breaking it, I don't think it'd be that bad.
But it's
yeah, but
also
it's
like
the-
it's an
it's the
entire
sailing
project to
sail
get
there,
people
yeah.
over there and then to
True, true.
have them go back and yeah.
Okay.
And you
So,
need to
should we-
you need to specifically have crews split up between 2 ships and start sailing one ship towards somewhere you know it'll crash. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is a big island. I'm unclear that scuttling one ship does this. Is the only thing. Like, are we trying to just cut off access to a specific part of this island?
Yeah. I mean,
Oh.
just wherever the community actually
Okay.
is.
So that
Okay.
means they'll have to sail around the whole island to get to the settlement where they are on the other side of it.
I see. We
Yeah.
can say that like that settlement
Okay.
in that like little curve there is in like a smaller bay also, so it's just cutting off access to that bay even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds
Okay.
good.
So like someone could go check on them, but it would take even longer now to do so.
Okay.
Because you would have to trek
I'm-
through part of the island.
Okay. Contempt.
That was my hope.
Well, is it that Judith said?
I said that was my hope
No,
because
but
Johanna
before
said,
that.
"Oh,
Well,
oh,
created
just that it'll take even longer if someone wants to go check on them now because they'll have to trek through the
Okay.
island to get there."
So, also, just a question about contempt.
Mhm.
So, when we say contempt, is it us as players saying that, or is it
No.
the communities?
That is saying that there is at least a portion of this community that does not like what just happened.
Okay.
Or I'm trying to think, do I take the contempt now or do I take the contempt when it finishes? I guess I could do both
I mean,
even.
you know what's going on. If
Yeah.
people know. So, you saying contempt means that also confirms that people know that
Yeah.
they left to do this.
Mhm. Or maybe so maybe that would do we want that or is that true, Judy? Do people know or is this done in secret?
I don't think it makes sense to do it in secret. It's one of those things where it's like conspiracies are very hard to maintain, and crewing 2 ships where one of
Okay.
them is large enough to block a bay is gonna be
Yeah.
hard to hide from people.
Okay.
So how many weeks did we say this is gonna take?
2.
2? Okay. So how do the dice work?
I have a note in my document, and every time that we get to it, that stage of the turn, I'll just up each of them by 1. Right now, it's at 0 out of 2.
Okay. All right. We said Pepper's going next, or
I think so.
Bottoms.
No, Bottoms. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That is a 9 of hearts.
Okay.
9 of hearts. Do you have access to this, Adams?
Yeah. Let me
Okay.
just pull it up a little bigger.
I mean, also it's in the screen share right now.
Oh, true.
A charismatic young girl convinces many people to help her with an elaborate scheme. What is it? Who joins her endeavors? Start a project to reflect. Or, a charismatic young girl tries to tempt many into sinful or dangerous activity. Why does she do this? How does the community respond? I know we don't have it on the map, but I know to the right of the islands, like a good way is one of the like big ships.
Mm-hmm.
It could be somebody from another continent that's trying to like fund research for her own endeavors to try and go over there, so it could be a large trip to see, or maybe looking to settle another area, and she's trying to pull people away from us.
Okay. So are you doing the one where you start a project, or is this just that she is trying to tempt people?
Probably trying to tempt people, like
Okay.
she's trying, like, if she convinces people, then it would thin our numbers because she's offering them something different.
Okay. Why did she do this?
I think she's probably mentioning the artifacts. Maybe she notices that we don't have much in the way of technology, and she's mentioning something grand to the east that she could help us, like, explore and grow with.
Okay. I'm realizing I didn't take notes on the last turn also, so give me 1 second. But also, just how does the community respond?
Is this for me or the group?
It's for you.
For you.
It's part of the question.
Oh, so true. Maybe there could be one area that's more likely to agree to go somewhere else, and that's pulling research from something else. Maybe like agriculture is lacking somewhere.
I'm sorry, can you say that again? I didn't quite catch that.
There, let me move my mic. Maybe it could be from like an underdeveloped area that's like struggling, so she's trying to convince them to leave. So people from that area are more likely to agree, so they're comfortable with it, and others that are trying to benefit from that island are disagreeing with it and hoping for them to stay.
Okay, give me 1 second to continue
While
with
you,
these notes.
yeah, Jody's writing down some notes. While you do that, I wanted to just ask the whole group a little bit more about some stuff. So, I wanted to talk more about like what type of species we are, because we're not humans. Once again, I just want to bring that back. So, and I was curious about like what sort of creatures we want to be, and I had an idea that is a nerdy idea, and I was curious about your thoughts. My idea being, what if we are, because I'm a nerd, like, it'd be really interesting if we had like a species that we are that's like the jackals from Halo.
Oh, so like raptors, kind of.
Yeah, we're like almost
like bipedal.
Bipedal raptors.
Okay.
Could I do a little sketch of that
Yeah, absolutely.
off in the margin?
Does everyone agree with that though?
I love that.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
All right, so
Because I wanted the idea to be like, because we're from Dragartha, the mysterious place, like two outsiders, we kind of look scary to them.
So does this act as is this a good summary? Girl from continent attempts to recruit members for expedition to crashed ship.
That sounds about right.
Okay.
So someone from like outside of our community has come here.
Yes.
Right.
Someone
Maybe
who's-
one of the other continents. It's like sharing stuff from the outside that would convince people to want to leave, but would harm other areas.
So these are not. This person is not like this weird Halo jackal species we are.
Yeah, I like the idea of her being like very foreign, and that's a part of what's convincing people to listen to her.
Okay.
Okay. Judith, you know paleontology and words. I thought it might be cool also if you wanted to come up with a name for this species that we are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doesn't have to be right now, just like in general.
Yeah, I've got ideas, but
Okay.
yeah, I'll take some time.
Okay. So, next has to be an action, right?
Yes.
Or project first.
Or, no. Oh yes, I have to advance the project. You're right. And Badams, what action would you like to take?
Maybe we could discover something new with what she's bringing with her to try and convince people to leave, something that wouldn't be found on our islands, but one of the other continents, wherever it is she came from.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
I think I was distracting
Yeah.
Jody with my writing. Sorry.
Discover something new with
Okay.
she's bringing something from the continent she came from that we're lacking, but she's able to briefly share as she's convincing people.
All right. Draw that situation onto the map. Now, it doesn't say if this should be like a project clock also.
I'm gonna move the mouse real quick.
Okay.
Continue. Okay.
Yeah. One second. Okay, so what'd you say you're discovering?
Trying to think what exactly.
So, like, the example, so when you discover something new, you introduce a new situation. Some situations that are given as examples in this are there's a dried up well at the edge of town, mangy wolves have been slinking around in the woods at night, or a self-declared prophet arrives.
How about maybe like a kind of vermin from where she came from? Like went on her boat and is at like one of the docks. Or like the northern, well,
Okay.
no. There was one that would make more sense. Like here maybe there's some species that we're unfamiliar with.
Okay. And is that causing issues? Actually, is that even something that... I mean, I guess it needs to be a
I was
situation,
wondering
so...
about that.
Yeah. So it should be either causing a problem or causing a problem in some sense, whether it's actually causing a problem directly or whether it's just that people don't like this being there and it like upsets them.
I want to do another disease thing. Sorry, I'm slow thinking.
Nah, it's
No,
okay.
it's fine. You're
Tired,
fine.
long day, late.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write the name of the species here.
Just want to be able to see a
Maybe
little bit
they're
more. of
messing
things.
with some of the crops that we're setting up or something like that.
I like that. And we already have a scarcity of those, so that's really serious.
You've created a box.
Indeed.
What is the box?
It's the name of what the species is. They're called the Lopi.
Ooh, I like it.
Singular is Lopa.
A new official species is part of the Spidere world.
Hell yeah.
Yay.
Yeah,
Love
it's
it.
named after Ipupiara lopi, which is a type of raptor that specifically ate fish.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
You are so smart.
And do you mean
Thank you.
raptor in the sense that we use it now, like bird
Yes.
of prey, or do you mean... Okay.
Yeah, yes, it's a dromaeosaur, but I did not want to specify. I knew I would have to explain what a dromaeosaur is if I said that, so.
What's a dromaeosaur?
Close relatives of Dromaeosaurus.
Thanks, that explains it.
including Velociraptor, Deinonychus, Utah Raptor, a whole bunch of other things with raptor at the end. Bambi Raptor, which
Cool.
yes is named after the fictional deer.
I was really hoping
Okay.
it was.
Interesting.
Yeah, a 14-year-old who discovered it got to name it.
That lucky freaking kid. That would have made me the happiest kid in the world if I was that kid.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Also,
Good job, Wes Linster.
thank you, Wes. Is the Utah Raptor named after Utah then?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's-
That's so good.
There's also the oh my god, Dakota Raptor was the biggest one.
What about the Toronto Raptors?
Are you? Did you?
What?
Sometimes you
You-
test my love for you.
You freaking little piece of bitch.
Oh, why do you love me? I don't know.
You little fucking piece of bitch. So should we move on to the next thing, or is there anything else we have to do here with this turn also?
I believe that's it. If you're done, Adams.
Yeah, I guess I'm all set.
I'm gonna say contempt for that. Whole
And
thing
wait,
about-
we tick the Johanna, you tick the die for
I did, yes.
the project, right? Okay.
And what are you taking contempt for? For which part of that?
Person trying to get us to leave,
Okay.
or getting even just some people to leave.
We're getting a lot of contempt already.
Yep.
Well,
I mean,
the
that's
contempt
fair.
is just aesthetic, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't have a mechanical purpose, but like it does mean that people are not happy that
Yeah.
we have this much, and I think that's fine.
That means something.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You
All right.
ready for your card, Pepper?
Oh yeah.
5 of Hearts.
That's funny. I was looking at the 5 of Hearts when you said that.
Whoa.
There is a disquieting legend about this place. What is it? Alarming weather patterns destroy something. How and what? Oh, both of those are good because earlier I was talking about weather.
Oops.
And there's some couple of good ideas there I like.
Oh, not what I meant to do.
So, disquieting. What does that just mean? Like concerning?
Yes.
So our people. This is something I'd like to understand that I think we can. I'd like to ask the group to see what we think. Do the Lopi know about like the Cognized Empire? Like the people outside of Dragarth that don't really know about us. Do we know about the rest of the world?
I don't think so.
I would
Okay.
imagine not.
So I think the disquieting legend about these chains of islands is that they have strange creatures being more like humans and other types of monsters that we are not familiar with, and that scares us and is kind of unsettling.
I love that. Because it's like humans probably lived on the islands at some point and now no longer do. And yeah, I
Maybe
like that.
there's some-
I like that a lot.
Even to add more to it, maybe there's some human skeletons near on the radiation island.
I love that.
Yay!
Yeah.
So like I like the idea of adding to
This is not a place of honor.
like adding to
I'm
that
gonna
whole
keep
thing.
saying it.
Like, remember how I earlier had mentioned that like humans would see a Lopi and they'd be kind of freaked out because we're kind of scary looking, like even compared to other monsters species. I like the idea that since we don't ever see humans, it'll be the same for us. Like we are kind of freaked out by them and how humans look. And maybe even when we see these skeletons or these mostly rotted corpses on the radiated island, maybe like what Judith, once again, you'll probably know this. The thing is where people try to like assume what a creature looks like based off of only its skeleton. Like, what does this hippo look like? Oh my god, it's terrifying if we don't actually see what it looks like.
I mean, I don't know if there's a specific term for that other than like skin wrapping is the term for like inaccurately making the skin too tight on a
Yeah.
reconstruction based on the bones. Like you don't put any muscle or fat on it. So like with a human, they'd end up having almost kind of like a slit nose and like
Yeah.
really hollow cheeks and
Yeah. And then like eyes that are really sunken in or something.
yeah.
And so I think that is what the Lopi see kind of from this and are freaked out by that, and that's where the disquieting legends come from.
Yeah, because
And you said these are,
Dinosaurs
human skeletons
have-
that have been found?
Sorry, is it what, Judith?
oh, I was just saying dinosaurs have something inside their eye called a scleral ring, which is like another ring of bone. And so seeing something without a scleral ring would really make it seem like it has massive eyes or like they're deeply sunken.
Okay, so the Lopi would definitely notice that
Yeah.
because they are more dinosaur-like. What did you say, Jody?
So you were saying that they found human skeletons.
Yes.
Okay.
Human skeletons specifically.
Wait, so
Alright.
sorry, was that for your discovery? I mean, like, was that the action?
No, that was just
Oh.
the disquieting legend.
Okay, got it.
Card, yeah.
The action could be them discovering it also. Like maybe there's some like of these humans that had been previously on this island actually did escape to some of the other islands also, but they're too irradiated, so they still died. So there's human skeletons on some of the other islands too. But there's like a lot on the irradiated one. Because this is still like thousands and thousands of years in the future. Like the humans of quote unquote modern day don't know that they used to be like spacefaring beings anymore. So they have basically forgotten what radiation is.
That
What?
I love that.
Cool, thank you. The humans here, like there's also like this pretty nasty religion and like idea behind where the humans think that they're like superior to other species because they came from the skies. Like that's all they have, basically. But that's, yeah, and that's also like largely why the Cognass Empire is kind of mean.
Okay. And is that it for that part of your turn?
Yeah, and I guess the discovering of these skeletons and stuff would be the action.
That could be, or it could just be part of the. You want that to be your discovery?
I don't know what the action stuff is.
Okay. We'll get to that because we have to do
the.
the.
Said that it counts as your action, so if it doesn't say it, I think that you still get to choose one.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say so. I think that could be part of like the legends.
Okay.
Like so long as we're like, I think the distinction there is, did they find those skeletons now, or have they found them in the past?
I'll. Can I ask the group? I'd like to know your thoughts. My ideas are either we just discovered them, or maybe some of them washed up on Dragartha. But I want to know everyone else's thoughts.
My thought is that this was a pre-existing thing. Like, I mean, the legend already existed, and I want to say that means, at least in part, that like some of these corpses or some of these skeletons had already been found, and maybe they more recently found more of them. But that's not as significant to me as finding them for the first time. You know?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And you could draw something if you wanted. I'm not sure that you need.
I would have just drawn a skull.
Yeah, I feel like the radiation symbol already kind of covers the whole thing for that island that we've talked about so far. But
yeah,
you could also
there's
draw a
so much
skull if you
space.
want. Yeah. While you're doing that, we'll do the project, I guess. The advancement.
Okay.
So the Scuttleless ship project is done. I'm taking contempt immediately. And Judith, you get to tell us what exactly that means.
Yeah,
Or
so
what that looks like, rather.
So, a group of people from, I'm gonna say probably the closest island, because I think they probably have the most imminent threat of people wanting to go rescue them. Basically, should I bother? I don't need to bother to make up a name for who organized this expedition. Unless we want to, but
If you want to, you can.
yeah, screw it. So maybe. So Lopai named Taro, Taro, organizes basically a party of 2 ships with crews on each of them, and sails there, and they basically kind of aim one of the ships at the shore and kind of aim it sideways with the sails trimmed sideways on the ship, sort of, if that makes sense. So it'll hit the shore sideways, but it's still floating towards there. They'll abandon ship. At this point, I think the 2 ships are pulled alongside each other, and then essentially just wait to see that to make sure that it scuttles, and then they sail back home.
Okay.
And as this is happening, there is a group of still surviving but horribly ill people on the shore watching in horror as this happens.
Okay.
Am I going too dark with
No,
this?
no,
No.
this is fine. Yeah.
I mean, that's not too dark. This is exactly what I set up already.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we should have probably
This
had a
is-
discussion about tones, but it's fine for me.
This is I was hoping this would end in contempt, because this is really interesting to me.
Yeah. And to be clear, also, like, I'm not saying other people have to take contempt, but more than one person can take contempt at any time. That basically indicates that, like, more of the community is upset about this.
I'd say contempt then.
Okay.
Everyone hates Taro.
Yeah. So is that move on to my action now?
Yes.
Okay, so what are the actions? Like, what does that mean?
Let me pull that up.
It's discover something new, hold a discussion, or start a project.
Discover something new. Hold a discussion. Start a project.
I can look at the actual like descriptions of those if you want.
So start a project means I could start any project on like with anything,
Yes.
right? Okay. Let me think here.
me
I
pull-
already have one planned for my next turn.
I think I have an idea too.
Of a project? Should I not do a project then?
No, you absolutely can do a project. So this is what it says about projects.
Oh, could I fucking... No.
Oh, wait a minute.
No.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. It looks like when you start projects, it's supposed to be based on a situation that already has been established, either by discovering something new or just by one of the card things.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
So, I don't know if this would count as discovering something new or start a project. So can I was about to actually ask, can I continue this off of the Taro thing?
Yeah, if you want to.
Oh, man. Oh, this could be nasty.
Uh,
This is gonna be contempting also.
I'm worried.
One of them...
Let's keep in mind that we still have more seasons to get through, and we don't want the community to tear itself apart. You
Yeah.
do what you want. I just might not declare contempt over it.
Well,
But contempt doesn't have a mechanical purpose. It's okay if people are really upset.
yeah. So...
It is okay if people kill Taro.
So I was gonna say that I think while sailing back, like barely after leaving, Taro's ship notices this like bit of crashed ancient human ship. They don't know that's what it is, and we as players can assume that that's where the rate of the radiation thing came from.
Oh no.
They don't know that, so they take one of the things back with them, finding the technology. But this one's not irradiated. But everyone knows that it came from the area where things are irradiated.
So this would be
Oh.
discover something new?
Yes. So they basically discovered this small section here. I'm going to draw in gray.
Oh, before I forget, let me draw this.
No, there's no gray, unfortunately. Oh. Well, I guess you can just do that yourself if you like wanna.
You sound unhappy about it. What is that? Oh, is that the crash ship?
Yeah,
the
it's the
scuttled
crash
one.
ship.
Thank you for
Okay.
remembering to draw that. I forgot to mention.
Okay. What is... There's a thing. No, I want this. Is what I was using. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to say, like...
So, which island were they coming from in the first place?
I was thinking this one, but I
That
don't
makes
know.
sense.
Okay, so this triangle is like ancient human spaceship debris, and they come across it and take some of it back, and then like people on the island they return to are like, "Did you just bring something back from your voyage to the Death Island?"
Like, you
I
took this
find-
upon yourself to go there because you were worried about the curse, and then you brought back cursed shit? Are you fucking for real?
The
I
thing,
find it
yeah.
really funny that Taro just has no principles. It
Well-
seems now like he's less concerned about the curse and more just
Well,
really
okay.
hates the people on that island.
There's actually like someone named Jimmy. He just despised. No, I was gonna say though that like I think that Taro, and like you can tell me if you disagree and you want this to be different, but I think this thing they discovered, they didn't think it would be cursed. It was the people, well, because like to
Yeah,
them it
they
was
had
just
no
like it
reason
was
to
a,
think it was connected. It's
yeah,
not
it was a
on the
separate
island.
discovery. The people that when they go back to the island, all they are like know is like, you guys left to the Death Island and came back, and now you have things.
I would take another contempt, but I feel like it's just one contempt for the entire trip. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that works.
I just love that everyone switched sides. It's so funny to me. Like all the people who were pissed about the expedition are now like, wait, no, that is cursed. Like I'm not
Well, I
saying
think
bad characterization. I love it.
I think everyone thinks it's cursed already. It's just like,
Yeah.
well, we can still try to help them.
Yeah,
But now it's
that's
like,
kinda
but,
what I
it's
assumed.
like, okay, but like, you didn't have to bring the curse with you. Why did
Yeah.
you do that? Yeah.
So you decided to kill all of them and us. What is
Yeah.
wrong with you?
I
yeah.
love this.
Badams, what are you thinking?
I'm a big fan. I don't have much to add. I'm sorry.
Cool, thanks. So I don't know what they brought back exactly, but also I guess they don't know what they brought back. They brought back some tools or machines from that crashed debris, and also they now know the location of that crash debris, which is like
And that's something we can
Those are
figure
the
out on
things-
another turn.
those are the things that were discovered.
Like, discover something new on another turn could be they figure out what it is. Or not even figure out what it is, but, like, get an idea of what it does.
Can you add crashed relic ship there? Because it, just so we know it's not a
Good
regular
point. Good point.
one. Okay, sorry.
In fact, I should do crashed relic ship over here as well. All right.
Jody, it's your
Um,
turn.
Wait, can I see this?
What's up?
I just want to see what that says. Wait, is this true though?
Yeah. That was Badams' turn.
It was Badams' turn with a girl bringing something back.
No, a girl wanting to recruit people to go on an expedition to the relic ship we already knew about.
Oh, I didn't know that was a relic ship. Was that a relic ship, Badams?
That's where she was trying to like bring people. Yeah.
Do we want to assume that that's the same relic ship?
But people didn't know about it until now, right? Like Taro discovered it.
Yeah, I think it's more interesting if there's multiple ships and they don't
Okay.
And it could even
I
be
think
like
mine's
similar.
supposed to be very far too, because the problem
Yeah.
is that people aren't coming back if they go with
Yeah.
her.
Okay, so you're thinking like the big ones that are already marked on the big map.
and like maybe this will impact like that girl's plan in some way, that they found
Okay.
something much closer. Or maybe she has a specific reason for wanting to go to that ship.
We could also know that like we don't know that the Lopi see that relic ship and these debris as the same thing.
Yeah.
They don't make that connection yet
That's fair.
because they've seen this crash debris. They haven't seen the place that she wants them to go to.
Also, I feel like we should give that girl a name and we should decide what her species is.
I think Badam should do that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Aww. If you want me to come up with a name, I can.
That would be a good help. I'm not very good with names.
That's totally fair. And relatable.
Can I go with something really funny?
If you want.
Sure.
Because Pepper mentioned, wow, everyone hates this guy named Jimmy. I think her name is G-Me, 2 words, J-I space M-I.
Okay.
Okay.
Badams, what species is she? Also, if you want, I can read off like a species list of species I have on that exist in this planet, or you can just make one up or choose one.
Sure. I guess like the first thing that came to mind was like a kanku, maybe like a bird person.
That would make sense about
Maybe
like
a
why so
grounded
many
bird.
people are willing to interact with her.
Because they don't scare. She doesn't scare them like a human
Yeah,
would.
she looks kind of like them. They both
Okay.
have feathers.
Okay.
I don't know if that
Um,
came across in the design of the Lopi, but they have
It does.
feathers.
Yeah, it does.
So, what did you say the name of that species was?
I just named a D&D species,
Oh,
Yeah,
so
we should
Kanku,
probably do a
but we
different
could do
name.
something different.
The Friends at the Table version of this is Talonite, but we shouldn't just take
Yeah.
that directly.
We can.
I have names. I have names offhand for all of this stuff. If you want.
So, actually, in my Monster Play series, Brett's character was an owl person,
True.
which was called an owlet. We could just go with that, or we can make something else up. Badams.
Badams, this is your choice.
Yeah.
That's fine with me.
Okay. So, an owlet.
Is that just OWLA?
OWLAE.
Okay. All right.
All right, when you're ready, I can pull your card.
Please do.
All right. 6 of Hearts.
No, just right next to it. Right next to me.
Yeah. Are there children in the community? If there are, what is their role in the community? Or how old are the eldest members of the community? What unique needs do they have? I'm going to go with the second one, and I'm going to say the oldest people aren't that old. I don't think they really were able to take their elders with them.
Okay.
I think they had to leave them behind. So,
Or even can I propose something?
sure.
They didn't leave them behind. They brought them to the closest island so they'd have the
Oh.
easiest trip.
Shit.
That's
Oh,
evil.
shit.
Okay, cool.
That sucks. And then they were forced to kill their elders, basically, by scuttling that
Yeah,
shit.
which makes even more sense about why people would be so especially mad. Like, wow, Taro just decided to condemn everyone's grandma and grandpas to death.
Basically. This is great. I'm having so much fun
Me too. This
making
is
stuff together like this.
At what point does someone start a project to kill Taro?
That's understandable.
yeah.
I mean, that's up to Jody right now.
I have thoughts. We'll get there in a sec.
Okay.
That's the only
okay.
mechanic you could use to do that.
So I want to point out also, I chose the answer that is like, oh, we have to talk about the oldest people. I didn't say anything about the kids. There could still be kids if we want there to be.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
it would make sense for there
Yeah.
to be.
I agree. All remaining people are...
So, younger as in, like, what age are we thinking? Or,
So-
like,
So like in
the oldest people in human years?
in human
yeah.
terms, I'd say that we're talking about like middle-aged people, like 50 is like the
Okay.
oldest people
The oldest people that
that
are not on the island.
Yes.
The Death Island.
We name the islands? Later.
I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have to name all of them, but we should probably name the Death Island. It
Yeah.
could just be the Death Island. I don't know.
It could be.
We should also maybe name the island with the moonlight on it because that already has like a specific thing about it. Well, we don't have to do that. We'll figure it out. We could also just like for right now we could number them just so that we. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was gonna. I had a name for the Death Island.
What is it?
Kadran. Kadran.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
It kind of goes off a similar like sound that I feel like Dragartha does, like with just the
Yeah.
ahs.
Yeah, Kadran is the Hittite word for death. So
So do we want to say that that's the name it has now, and they
Yes.
gave it another name before as well, like
I don't
before
know if they
knew it
even
was
had
the Death
time
Island?
to give it a name before.
That's
everyone
fair, that was
started
week one.
dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Week 1, everyone starts dying. Shit, I guess this is Death Island, huh?
I hate this place. This place sucks.
You're on some kind of cadron right now. I don't.
Yeah. I don't know where that word came from. It just kind of came to me.
Yeah. It came to me in a dream.
Yeah.
All right. We have no projects to advance, so I guess I'm moving on to my action.
Start a project. Kill Taro.
So
Keep in mind, we've got a whole year. If you want to kill Taro, it might be interesting to let the drama play out and wait until another
true.
season.
We have
Part of me-
we're 5 weeks in
Yeah.
so far.
Part of me is tempted to start a discussion about it. Yeah, in fact, I'm gonna start a discussion about it. Should Taro Taro and his crew be punished for what they did? And should they? Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there.
All right. I get to go first.
You do.
In the discussion, you mean?
Yes.
No, he should be made leader for making a decisive action.
No, he's cruel and evil. Punish him.
We've only discussed for a week and nothing came of it, and he decided to go without consulting the group.
He just killed all of our elders, every one of them.
Grandpa.
Yes, he should be punished.
Okay, so
There is a fun solution to this, but I'm not going to say it.
what we got from that is that some people are like decisive action. Half the people are like angry, and then a quarter are like, we don't like this is we don't know for sure.
I don't know if there's a way we could mechanically do this, so can I bring it up now as an idea?
Yeah.
Sure.
There would be a poetic justice to exiling him to Kadran.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, you could do that. It would have to be a project, but you could do that on your turn if you wanted to.
Oh no, I have another project planned.
Anyone could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm going to treat this like long-term projects in a lot of games that have long-term projects, like Beam Saber or Armor of Stir, which is basically, if you're not sure you can do something, we'll just make it like a longer-term project and then you can do it.
Okay. All right, my turn.
Yep, your turn.
Yeah.
King of Hearts. Oh,
Oh, we're done with spring.
yeah. A young
Wait,
boy starts.
No, am I wrong?
There's-
Is that only how it works with winter? I think that might only be
might-
how it works with winter.
That's what I thought you said.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think that's only winter. My bad.
Oh, thank God.
I was getting confused with the ground itself.
Because I want more spring. There's so much, and I
Yeah.
want to have a long year. All right. A young boy starts digging in the ground and discovers something unexpected. What is it? Or an old man confesses to past crimes and atrocities. What has he done? Well, we know it's not an old man because all the old people are dead.
Well, it can be relatively
We could
speaking.
say it's a 50-year-old.
Yeah.
Count that as an
Yeah.
old man.
Yeah, like old for who is remaining.
Yeah.
Oh, I have some interesting ideas of what to do with that.
Let's hear it.
An old man. Do I need to name? I'm having fun naming characters. If people
Name
don't
as
mind
many
keeping
characters
track
as you
of
want.
the names.
What the frick?
An old man, about as old as anyone here is, named Bimas, Bimas.
Old man Bimas.
Admits that as the Tall Riders were approaching his village, he struck a deal with them to give his family more time to escape if he opened the gates and let them in.
Ooh.
Because that's...
That's pretty hefty.
That is pretty hefty.
We're
And
writing.
then-
We're writing some HBO stuff here.
Yeah, I love this. This is so fun.
Me too.
This is really, really fun.
And I'm starting a project to...
Oh, wait, oh yeah, so we don't have any things
Yeah.
to do, so yeah, you can do that.
So I'm starting a project, and I think this is going to be a full 6-week one, but correct me if I'm wrong, to try and start a farm on the Tower Island.
Interesting.
Ooh, good idea.
With the logic being, it's always sunny there, so surely the crops will grow faster.
It's always sunny on Tower Island.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I can't believe that. Can't believe you just did that. On Tower Delphia.
I was just playing Death Stranding, so this is of course in my mind. Like, it makes me think of the Timefall farm.
Yeah. Oh, the Timefall farm was such a clever idea.
It was. I love that.
I feel like there should
So-
have been a drawback to that, like maybe food farmed with Timefall tastes worse.
Something like that, yeah. But anyway, so you said you think that's around 6 weeks. Does that sound right to everyone?
Yeah.
I think that, yeah. 0 out of 6.
Because they've got to give the crops time to grow, even
That's
if it's
fair.
growing faster. Like, you would not be able to harvest crops the same season as you plant them. Alright. It is Badams' turn.
Okay. Also, before
Oh,
Bottom
wait,
starts,
let me draw something real quick.
that, and also, I think we can finish up this round. Like, Bottoms will go, and then I'll go, and then we should probably end the stream just because
Yeah, it's getting late.
it is almost 10:30, and I know you wanted to stop around soon.
Yeah.
Judith.
Yeah, should we keep track of which cards have been played?
Already
I
have.
can-
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I can pick out the rest of them next time.
Okay.
Alright,
Awesome. Okay.
I'm gonna draw Badams' card, and then as they're going, I'm gonna
Yeah.
start drawing my things I need to catch up on.
Sounds
Right,
good.
four of hearts.
Okay, Bottoms.
Okay.
What's
What
it?
important and basic tools does the community lack, or where are you storing your food? Why is this a risky place to store things?
I like the phrasing of that second one. Like, it has to be risky. And they're, yeah, I like that.
Mhm. Look at the map. maybe we're keeping most things in like open barrels, which was safe for where we came from, but the temperature or something is different here, and food's starting to spoil, but we don't have anything prepared.
One sec. So at the same time that they're in the middle of creating this new farm to address the food scarcity, there's still something risky about it. Maybe that wouldn't be enough to make it abundant unless that's fixed. I like that. That makes sense. All right. I'm going to advance the farm clock by 1. And now you can take an action.
Maybe something like investing in frozen storage or something like that.
Is that a level of technology that we have right now? I'm not sure. I guess there's magic. It could be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess in a world where you have ice magic, you might realize how preserving cold is much sooner than we did in our world. That makes a lot of sense.
Also, I would like to acknowledge, like, because we're talking about magic, like, there's magic all over the world, in this world. How magically aware or evolved are the Lopi?
I mean, I think the tall riders at least mean that they're aware that magic exists.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, they've lived on this world. They probably have some understanding that magic exists, and they probably have some command of it.
Okay.
Can I make another really mean idea about it?
Mm-hmm.
The knowledge of magic is remembered by their elders, so there's very few people who still know how it works, who are still left.
Yeah. I will say,
This is
I'm going to say there are at least some people who do know.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's not everybody, especially not the younger ones.
Yeah.
Because it's like I think it's a good idea for that to be like a nice, good culture thing.
Yeah. I'm just trying to make people hate Taro more and more.
Yeah, they'll put a lot of hate on Taro specifically, for things that like even aren't his fault technically at this point.
And by the way, I'm
like
not sure
people
if you
kind of
can
forget
tell,
that
but I
like they
did a
were
little
dying of
drawing.
radiation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that?
I'm not sure if people can tell, but I put a little drawing of Beamos there negotiating with a tall rider.
Oh, we have to really zoom in for that.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
That's fun.
And then I drew a little I drew someone like hoeing ground next to the tower island.
Make sure the
Alright.
stream can see that. There it is.
Yeah. And then can you also scroll up to see the other thing that she drew?
The farm.
Where is it?
It's up by the
It's
tower
just to the
island.
left of the tower.
I like that.
Okay, cool.
And when this project finishes, I'm assuming that's going to either get rid of the scarcity of food or give us an abundance of food. I'm just
You're
going to say this
assuming
now.
the project is gonna work.
Well, like that is in the rules of the game. If projects end up completing, you assume that they are at least somewhat successful.
Okay.
When that happens,
even if the moon lamp light thing doesn't give them that, it'll still be daytime light.
yeah.
That's still working on it.
When that happens, we'll cross out the drawing you drew for food scarcity.
Okay.
That's in the rules.
Okay.
And then Pepper's turn.
Oh wait,
Badam,
no,
did you finish?
we didn't finish with Badams.
Sorry. Yeah. And then after Pepper's turn,
So-
we're stopping, right?
So
Yeah.
it was a project to create cold storage, basically.
Yeah, maybe like reverse engineering the elders' ice magic or something like that. Maybe it's something they used to have, but they weren't able to set up, and now they don't have access to it anymore.
Magic learned from the elders, so it's not as good.
Oh, and do we want to now that we know that's happened, now that we know the elders are all dying, do we want to list magic as a scarcity?
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Someone's got to figure out how to draw a scarcity of magic on the map.
I'd be drawing so much more, but it's hard for me to
staff
reach.
drooping.
Oh, it's a flaccid staff.
No, maybe a staff broken in half.
I think a flaccid staff is pretty funny, though.
I'm going to say this should be a long project probably because of the scarcity of magic.
Yeah. Longer than it would have been otherwise.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe
There's
5
there's
weeks?
the broken staff.
5 weeks works.
Battens, does that work for you?
That sounds good.
Okay.
All right.
Where's the
Pepper?
broken staff?
Right there.
Oh, I see it. Okay.
Yeah.
For
You
some of
ready?
those bigger ones, Judith, could you use a thicker,
Yeah.
Mark,
Sorry, I
that's okay.
forgot
It's
to
okay.
change the.
just because it's harder to see that on stream?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I am ready for a card.
All right. 3 of Hearts. I'm thinking I didn't shuffle these very well, but oh well.
Someone new arrives. Who? Or 2 of the community's younger members get into a fight. What provoked them? I like the idea of 2 of them getting into a fight. Specifically because, well, first of all, is Taro younger? How old is Taro?
You can decide.
I think. Okay. I think someone's fighting Taro, over what happened, and before. Let's see.
Yeah, I think having him be particularly young and brash is an interesting decision.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that.
Okay, I'm thinking about how I can like connect all this to the thing I was gonna do for my project. Also, because we're gonna have a lot of projects now.
We are.
Yeah, you gets into a fight with Taro. Just it's easy to say what provoked them. The obvious situation. Provoked by like what Taro did. And let's see what ends up happening. I think just because Taro isn't the worst enough. He's awful, but he's not the worst yet. So Taro accidentally kills this youth. Cause fuck Taro.
Oh wow.
Cause
We're
fuck
really
Taro.
good there. Do you want me to name the kid he killed, or does it not matter? Not kid, but you know, like
Yeah, you can do that if you want. I don't know if it really matters, but like,
it
it's
doesn't.
fun.
Never mind.
Taro doesn't have quite enough blood on his hands yet, I guess.
And so the project. Well, actually, no,
Wait.
wait. I don't get to start my project yet.
I have an idea.
What is it?
Does he accidentally kill him with one of the relics he brought with him?
That could be interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like he kills him with it's just a gun. it's just a straight up
And
gun.
he didn't know what it would do.
No.
He was like messing around with it, just trying to figure out what it does.
They were struggling over the tool.
Yeah.
And then he pulls what is apparently a trigger and kills him, and everyone's like, did you just fucking blast a hole in this guy with like curse magic? Yeah. And I think, you know what? I think I want to go as far to say the kid didn't actually die, but he's mortally
injured.
wounded and has to be cared for. Because, I don't know, I want to reel it back slightly.
Yeah, I think it's more interesting if he's still alive, but
Yeah.
obviously was hurt.
Yeah, but like pretty badly wounded.
And I'm gonna say his name is Taltas. Taltas.
Okay.
Teltas.
Yeah, I'm getting these names by taking the names of interesting dinosaurs and scrambling syllables.
I love it.
I
That's
like
good.
it.
That's a great way to do it. I think both you, like, Jody and Badam said they don't really care too much about making names.
Mm-hmm.
I think you, Judith, and I both love doing that. I love making
Yeah.
names. And I do it in a very
at
similar
this point,
way.
I feel like I've gotten into a pattern of like they have 2-syllable names.
Yeah, you have like a system for how they're named, and I think that's really good for
Yeah.
you to be able to name these
Yeah.
characters then, the Lopi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
So we have to advance the projects
well,
real
can
quick.
I see that again real quick?
Yep.
So I'm just gonna read it. Youth Teltas gets into a fight with Taro, provoked by Taro's actions. Taro accidentally injures him with a relic. I want it to be like a fight specifically over the fact that he brought these items back, and
was
they're
this, like-
fighting over the item, which is like a futuristic human gun.
And was this like in public in front of a lot of people, or was this like out somewhere?
I think it was in public.
Okay.
Can I make a counterpoint?
Mhm.
If it's not in public, then people will be even more suspicious of Taro because
true.
he won't be able to say, "Look, you could all see we were fighting over it."
Let's
Like,
say
everyone will just think he acted aggressively.
let's say there were like he was outside like one of the homes that they have, but like people were nearby to hear the sound of it and stuff, but they didn't actually visibly see it.
Yeah.
So there were like auditory witnesses or yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like people show up and Taro's holding the relic and Teltas is just on the ground bleeding.
Now I know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
This looks bad.
After everything, you know. So.
Contempt, by the way.
Okay. Well, I wonder why. Okay. Ugh. Anyways, advance the projects,
Yeah.
and then I have a project to start also.
Oh.
Okay. So we are now at starting the farm at 2 of 6 and starting the food storage at 1 of 5.
All right.
The game does say to like put the numbers on the map, but that seems difficult. So
And you've got it in the notes.
Yeah.
So I am going to start a project where they just specifically, I guess this will be a short one. Specifically, they finally decide to exile Taro and whoever the old guy was,
Bimas.
Bimas, alongside him. And I don't know if this would be a thing that was unanimously decided on, or just a few people got together and forced them on a boat to leave.
I think unless we have like discussions about it, it would have to be that a few people took it upon themselves.
Okay, a few people basically.
Yeah, maybe it takes time because they needed to gather support in order to do it, or like plan the conspiracy to.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes
kidnap
sense.
them and shove them in a boat.
Okay, so let's do 3 weeks on that. 2, 3.
1 sec.
And one of the people was 17-year-old Teletas's mama.
Yeah, fair.
Do you want me to name
Bimas.
her, or can we just
Let's do it.
call her? Okay.
Unless you don't want to, in which case,
No,
don't
it's
do
fine.
it. T-Rex, that's a good name.
I was just gonna call her Tilte. Like I want the names to be kind of similar.
That's good.
Like, I like the
How would you
resonance
spell
of
that?
it. Tilte.
Would you say she's tilted about what happened?
Yeah,
she's hanging out at
fallen
Tilted
into a
Towers.
tilt.
She's hanging out at Tilted Towers because she's so tilted.
Oh, damn it. Okay.
I have a really fun idea for some point that I might as well semi-spoil, and
Okay.
I'm not sure I'll have a chance to do this, but I think it would be really funny if at some point after the exile succeeds, Taro comes back with one of the elders.
Oh shit!
It comes back with what?
One of the
With one of
elders.
the elders.
We got HBO.
For a split
Come on,
second,
come
I
to
thought,
us, get us.
for a split second, I thought you were gonna say he comes back with tall riders, but
Oh, that could also be interesting.
That would
actually.
also be really interesting. I mean, that's the thing. If someone else wants to do that first, I would fully support you doing that and kind of
Yeah.
story blocking me.
We'll be able to. Well, either way, we'll be able to like think about this over the course of the next week. I think.
yeah, we will.
So for the exile, what are we thinking? 2 or 3 weeks?
Let's say 3 weeks. I think.
Okay. So, that's. I think we can end it there. Can I take the mouse real quick?
Yes, you may.
I think we are going to do a quick summary of what we've had. So, can we add a week 0 and just talk about them fleeing
Yeah, that makes
Regarth?
sense.
So,
Did I already put that? I
Maybe,
already put that
but-
up here, but I can
okay.
move
Well,
that down.
the Lopi flee the Tall Riders, and end
Also,
up on these islands.
Sorry, quick question. These aren't the only Lopi that exist on this world, right? This is just a community of Lopi.
I'm thinking that the Lopi don't come from anywhere other than Dragartha.
Okay, but like,
Yeah.
not every Lopi in Dragartha fled, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
obviously. I think like
Yeah.
I was just imagining even that the people on the Tall Riders could even be more Lopi.
Ooh, yeah, that's fair.
There's just different communities
Yeah.
of Lopi. So Lopi flee from the Tall Riders on Dragartha. who rode crawling Goliaths and creeping kin. They're formerly coastal villagers from Jagartha. They've set up 7 small settlements on several islands, otherwise largely unexplored. And then week 1, radioactive cursed object on southernmost island. Basically, the elders that they left on the southernmost island start to get sick, and they hear less and less communication from them. Also, it's probably not all elders. There's probably some young people there because they didn't just leave them all alone because they didn't know it was cursed.
Yeah, I think that it's all of the elders, but it's not only elders.
Yeah. So then the community started having a discussion: do we help them or do we leave them? And then week 2, was it Moonlight or Moon Lamp? The thing.
I think it was just Moon Tower, but I might have been wrong.
Yeah, Moon Tower is a good name, I think.
So Moon Tower on one island. Oh, go ahead.
It is Moonlight Tower. I was wrong.
Okay, Moonlight Tower.
Which is a funny name considering that in this case it makes it always daytime.
Yeah. So a Moonlight Tower discovered on one island is able to permanently illuminate the entire island, which is an enormous size. Like, it's illuminating the entire, basically, state of Connecticut size-wise. And while this was discovered, meanwhile, a project was being set up to scuttle a ship to cut off access to the radioactive settlement set up by Taro. And then week 3, a girl from some far location, Jima, who is an Aule.
Or Jimmy.
Jimmy? Mm-hmm. Jimmy and Aule attempts to recruit members for an expedition to crash Red Ship. I think we actually need to get back to that at some point. We've been focusing a lot on the Taro stuff. We need to have more about that next time.
I agree.
As well.
I agree.
100%. Well, honestly, exiling Taro kind of brings him out of the picture for now anyway.
Yeah. Girl brought new vermin onto the island, so like diseases and stuff like that and things. Week 4, legend about islands, strange creatures, scares of the community, human skeletons found on Cursed Island and elsewhere. Basically just like human remains that were, what do you say, skin wrapped?
Yeah, skin wrapped.
Can we add that into the description, Jody? Were discovered and the Lopai were like, these things look freaky, and they kind of like skin wrap them in their minds and go like, oh, that's really freaky. We don't like these at all.
Human skeletons found on Cursed Island and elsewhere. How would I even phrase that? Lopai made assumptions.
Reconstruct them. Human skeleton. What humans look like through skin wrapping. Looks freaky. Okay. And meanwhile, while that's happening, and like the skeletons are being freaked out about, the ship scuttling is finished, organized by Taro. On the return trip, Taro found relics from a crashed relic ship that are not radioactive, and brings some of them back. Ends up one of them is a gun. Week 5, oldest community members have that had been left on Kadron Island. That turned out to be cursed. All remaining people are significantly younger. And while that's happening, also, or that's known, I guess, people discuss whether Taro should be punished. Week 6, Old Man Bimas admits to making a deal with the Tall Riders originally, having opened the gates to let them into the village.
In return for giving his family safe passage.
Okay. In return for giving safe passage to his family.
Yeah, like basically giving them like enough time to gather their things together first.
Yeah. Okay. And meanwhile, while that's being revealed to the Lopai, there's also a project being started to farm on Tower Island. Week 7. Food is stored in open barrels, which is exposed to the elements. And project is started to create cold storage with magic. Week 8, a youth Teltas gets into a fight with few witnesses with Taro. Taro, provoked by Taro's actions, Taro accidentally injures him with a relic gun. A few people, including Teltas's mother, Tilte, Tilted Towers took it upon themselves to begin the process of exiling Taro and Bimas. Can just for like our sake, can you add gun to this part?
Is it literally a gun, or is
It's
it
not like a
something in
modern day
that,
gun,
like-
but it's like
yeah.
a futuristic gun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
Is it a
Maybe it's
laser
a
gun or does it
needle
fire
gun.
projectiles?
projectiles.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, needle gun maybe.
Needle gun works too. Like it's a
Because
needle.
like that would explain why it didn't kill him. It just went straight through him.
Oh, that makes sense. Because like it didn't impart that much energy on
Yeah.
him. That makes sense.
Yeah, it
You could
didn't like
write needle
stay in
gun.
his body and get infected or anything.
Okay.
And
So-
that's where we're at.
Yeah. So
That's
we have
2 months have passed.
Yeah, we have 5 weeks left in spring, and we'll finish that next time.
Yeah, I think that sounds good. How are y'all
All
feeling?
right.
This was so fun.
Yeah, I actually.
It was.
This is one of the best I think experiences I've had with
I
tabletop.
honestly
This is
wish
great.
we didn't have to wait a week
Me too.
because I already want. I wish I had time to stay up more tonight and like
We have a lot of time to daydream and write out ideas and plans up until next week.
And
Also,
because
Yeah.
this is so fun, it's kind of making me reassess some plans for this season in my mind, which obviously will be up for discussion. I'll talk to you all about it off mic.
Yep.
But yeah.
So, Bottoms, how are you feeling? I know you've been kind of tired.
I need to go to the bathroom by the way, so
Okay.
I might sign off here.
Okay.
If that's all right.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Judy.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm really enjoying being a part of this.
Yeah, me too.
Bye.
Oops, I'm moving these windows into places they shouldn't be. Bottoms. I know you're a little quiet, but like, yeah, you had a good time. What do you think? Any thoughts?
Yeah, it's a lot, but I think it's cool. I like having the setup for everything.
Okay, cool. I think this is really fun.
I
We're having a
agree.
good time. Yeah.
Would you believe it, by the way? We haven't even gotten to the parts of the year where things get bad.
Oh, things have kind of sucked so
I know,
far.
I know.
We have to like lean back a little bit. I don't know. Anyways, in any case, thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, please consider becoming a member. You get emotes, badges, benefits like emotes and badges, and possibly join me in stream, and even the ability to join me in Minecraft. And shout-outs, including a shout-out I'm about to do to my Tier 2 treat, Pi. Thank you so much for the support. You're amazing, and I love you. If you'd like to support other ways, consider sending super chats or just Streamlabs donations. They help immensely. Otherwise, there's my Discord and my Blue Sky and all the goodies. Thank you so much for existing and being amazing. You're all wonderful, beautiful people. I love you so much. Yummy, yummy. It was nice to eat you. And we'll continue more of this later on. I'm looking forward to it quite a bit.
Me too.
Very, very much. Okay. Bottoms, do you want to say something funny?
Hapa.